changes.
Life. Life.
I was fine when you held my hand. I was fine when you pulled me down. You said the stars would answer. You said our prayers were written down. I was fine when you pulled me in. We were forced to be human, and then the world came after, and I had never questioned it. And they said it was wrong. Started it all.
Henry.
Hello people of the internet, my name is Henry Danish and this is REDCUBE Everything. And before we get started, as you guys all know, I just want to do a quick look at everything, make sure everything on my end of things is running smoothly. We were having a couple issues this morning with my mic. I did change the settings, so if it sounds really weird, please just let me know and I will change it right back to the original settings. We are just getting everybody into the matchup now, but let's talk about this matchup. Viper versus Relentless. This is probably, I think, the most high-stakes matchup we have had so far in this early going of this season. These two teams are at the top of their game, and these two teams are at the top of the table for the league, and that just is a recipe for an extremely, extremely good game. I apologize, the voting poll is actually incorrect. It should be a lot more even than what you guys see. It is actually 55% to 45%. That will be updated very shortly, so do not worry about that. But we are going to be changing things up a little bit here today. We're going to be trying something new with how the cast is done. So I'm actually going to be handing the cast over to Jazzman and Uzumaki, while I will then observe the match to try and get as many kills and as many action plays as possible, because that's what you guys asked for. That's what we're going to try to do. So if there are things that kind of don't seem right, just bear with us. We're trying to test these new things out. But as I have just mentioned, the duo casters, I have a question for you guys. So obviously you've seen the maps, and you've also seen the two teams playing on these maps. What are your first takes? What are you guys looking at here?
Well, I mean, you have three maps that are conventional that you can basically call one of the most common maps in this game. Mm-hmm. That being, your first map is Consulate and your second map is Bank. So your decider is Oregon. So either way, you're going to get two really wacky maps that don't see it as much play as they have. Mm-hmm. Consulate has fallen out of the meta, while Bank has kind of been off meta for quite some time. It had a little bit of play around the end of year 2, but other than that, you didn't really see much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I do see that Consulate has shifted a little from being like one of the main maps that teams would play on, as we start to see a little bit more coastline, more villa. Oregon's still up there along with Border. Those are just like I think those are the top 4 maps that we normally see in competitive play.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I remember, I think it was last week, Viper was playing against Yeah Gaming.
Yes.
And Viper put up a really good show against Yeah in their coastline match when it was map 2, I think.
Yes.
And Viper, from what I've seen and what I've heard, that coastline is their strongest map, and for them to take Yeah off of it and just demolish them was a really good feat to see. That Yeah, it was considered to be one of the powerhouse teams in here, like along the likes of Disrupt.
Yeah.
Given that they have Potch and what else? They have Potch. They have
Flock as well.
Flock as well.
Lineup's just insane.
Yeah, they have a lot of really good fraggers, and not only are they just fraggers, they can also flex to different roles. So that way you don't see a team that's full of Ash mains trying to work their way into different roles, which is really nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, I'm just going to quickly show you guys what these standings are looking like right now, as unfortunately the transition is not working. But there it is. There are the standings right now. These do not take in account the matchups for today and yesterday and the day before that. So this is coming into this week. So looking at these standings, we are going to be seeing Relentless in that number 2 spot and Viper in that number 4 spot. So these two teams are really high level teams. They are the top dogs of the league right now. Obviously, looking at these stands, you got to take it a little bit with a grain of salt because it's still early in the season and these things can shift very drastically because not as many games have been played. But nonetheless, these two teams are powerhouses. These two teams are absolutely just kind of some of the best in the league right now. So no matter what, it's definitely going to be a show. And we do not want to let the show wait any longer, as we are just going to get right into it here. And we will, well, not I won't, these two guys will see you on the map of Consulate.
Goodbye, Red. Into the bottomless pit of production you go. Thank you so much. Yeah, like you said, we're gonna try out this thing. Hopefully it works out for both of us as we will get into our first map of
Alright, and Consulate's a pretty good, or it's a really balanced map for both attacking and defending. There was recently a edition of the Teller's Archives site, but we haven't really seen many teams go to that site, given that it's really new. And if people ban mirror, you're having a really tough time to defend that site. So a lot of teams are just opting to not go for it if they win their first 2 defense rounds. That's you're still seeing a lot of the console office, the garage, and the lobby, those sites being played compared to the Teller's Archives.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like one of those back pocket sites where it's like if you're doing good, you might as well just add a little bit of salt to the wounds. As Blackbeard, not surprisingly, will be banned out by Relentless. Probably your most common ban on this map, mainly just due to the fact that Offices is so dominant on this map as a bomb site, and Garage as well. So seeing Blackbeard off the board, one of the 2 peaking operators that I've kind of categorized before, with Glaz being one of those. But Blackbeard is way more dominant, I believe, on Consulate than he is on Blackbeard. Blackbeard's more dominant than Glaz on Consulate. And that can be very biased, but I feel like Glaz is only good whenever it comes to the main lobby, or at least that's where he reigns supreme, while Blackbeard can really reign supreme anywhere as Lion. The most commonly banned operator will be out next.
Right, and I do agree that with the Blackbeard ban over the Glaz, given that Blackbeard can just head glitch with his shield on the B windows of CEO office. As we're going to see Valkyrie ban here, which is a very common ban as that we see on Consulate, that she can give the defenders so much information, tossing your cameras out onto those palm trees. And if your team doesn't take an IQ, you're going to have a really rough time with trying to attack the upstairs site.
Yeah, I mean, they like you said, the reason why Valkyrie gets a little bit more bans, as my show is no surprise as well. His gun is just too dominant. His cams are indestructible in most cases. Very good operator off the board, and that'll be the ban phase. But to jump on that Valkyrie, the reason why Valkyrie sees way more ban than he on Consulate than she does on usually any other map is, like you said, those palm trees. There are so many that have so many good vantage points and are really good as ping cameras, and if not, you can just clearly see out of them, than there are really in any other map. Consulate is the best map for Valkyrie, really, mainly just because the outside control that she can have.
Right, and whenever we see teams go down to the garage, we'll see them toss a camera in the connector of lobby over by the plants that watches piano, so that way the defenders still have eyes on the attackers in the piano lobby, so that way whoever's anchoring, they can go on the camera, give the calls to either the Valkyrie or the Mute or the Pulse, whoever's playing below, maybe even the Bandit if he has a C4, so that way they can give the information to the defenders and toss a C4 up and stop that soft destruction. And we're going to see Bean switch from the Dokkaebi over to the IQ, and this is I think that's a pretty good call here, given that that Viper here is taking, I'm sorry, not Viper. What's this team's name again?
Relentless.
I'm sorry. They recently undergone an org change, but yeah.
Yeah. Previously being clocking.
Right. As I believe the IQ is going to be that the main job for Bean here is going to try to not only shut down Trader Within's Echo drones, but also taking down Astral Roads. Legion Mines coming up the white stairs, coming up the yellow stairs. and seeing if they can possibly try to catch Shisui not being aware of his surroundings on his scanner.
Yeah, IQ is really good on this map, especially with this lineup. Like you said, you have so many operators such as Pulse, as we see, and like you said, Echo and Legion that can really reign supreme, and that's where Shisui could come in handy if he plays underneath the site. Problem is that whenever you play in lobby, you are really exposed. It's probably the toughest place to play, but he's playing all the way downstairs, looking to see if anyone is willing to take control of admin office to get that call, just to give that call a little earlier. A good advantage to have, and looking to see if he can do work, but his location will be known. I'm not sure if he's going to be forced to rotate on out or if he's just going to stay put.
Well, we'll see here as he's currently made his way over to the cafeteria, trying to give himself a new position to play in. Now that Viper knows that he was playing downstairs in server, and we're seeing your standard admin take here coming from Viper. We already have 7 on the Glass, as well as Aoeah and Geo already in admin, as well as Nader. And Shisui's currently making his way up the spiral stairs as Viper is making their advance through admin.
Yeah, surprisingly, they're just kind of castling it off and forgetting about it. I don't know if that's really effective because castle barricades can just be punched down, and because you have the protection of said castle barricade, you can easily punch it down without getting shot unless your toes like to get cut off. As we see a battle of the counters, Pulse and IQ. These two counter each other, and Ali will put a bullet in the head of Jaeger, or sorry, in the chest of Jaeger rather, and put this at a 5v4 as he quickly takes control of site, and most likely going to be using those Cavitao bolts to major efficiency, as it'll be the IQ to go down to the Legion. That'll be Astro World, but Ali with another kill on that refrag. Trader will refrag him as well, leaving this at a 3v3, and he is being pinged constantly and shot at as Nader is going to take out Classic, and now trying to use the Echo drones, but no plant is going down just yet. We see Shisui and Echo, two of the best operators here. That is going to come on out. It will get one. That is a great kill there, and that will be Geo off the board. And now a 2v2. Plant's going to have to go down.
Unfortunately, that C4 was not able to be used for the diffuser, but it doesn't even matter as Shisui's going to get the pings here from the Echo drones, giving him the information that he needs to take down. I can't even read his name, but given the information he needs to take on the Thermite. Meanwhile, Seven's going to come in here and get the frag onto Trader as Shisui's slowly making his way up the yellow stairs, knowing that he's now inside of console office. With 30 seconds left to go, Shisui's making his push. He knows that the plant's going down. Plant has gone down as Seven's going to get fragged here by Shisui. And Relentless is going to win round 1 here on Consulate.
Shisui is easily the MVP of that round, stealing it away, denying Plant and killing, being the Phantom from underneath with that Nitro Cell and with that Pulse Scanner. And in the end, we'll be able to win that round out. I'm not sure if that was 3 kills or not, but nonetheless, absolutely amazing work from him. That is 3 kills, yes, indeed. Using that cardiac sensor and the help of Trader, kind of duoing along with him with those drones. Very good work from both of the players. Good coordination, and 3K from Shisui will secure the round.
Right, and that was a very good round from Shisui as he was able to shut down pretty much most of the Viper attack all by himself, given that he had the information coming from Trader with those Echo drones, and without being able to take care of those drones. I think maybe he just forgot to use the scanner before he died, but he wasn't able to find those Echo drones in time in order to give Viper the amount of leverage they needed to get the plant down.
I agree that the IQ was not really used to good efficiency at all. She was set out kind of, I don't know if she was like on the clear, if she got caught off guard by a Legion, but not using her utility in time was just, I wouldn't say poor performance, maybe just wrong place at the wrong time, but losing that sensor, I would like to think would really hindered the results and really tipped the scale for Relentless.
Right, as we're going to see Relentless make their way down to the garage here, as we see both a bandit and a mute, which is pretty. I think it's a good call here from Relentless that the mute play, they're able to jam Viper from droning through the site, given that they can get their drones in from the yellow stairs as well as above in lobby. If Classic knows the vault spots, he can place one that's over by the pipes, and he can also place one inside of the office to jam the drones that are both the one that's over by pipes will jam the drones on the yellow stairs, and the one in the office will jam the drones that are up in the lobby by the circle desk.
Yeah, I'm sure that that's the spots have been reviewed before, but there are a lot of spots like this on console, a lot of those vault spots that you're talking about, and in general, it's just extra wall protection really, because sometimes the bandit just isn't enough, especially because he's so hard to it's so hard to trick on garage, especially because you have the yellow stairs, which can really screw you up, and on top of that, you have 3 panels to go off of, so mute can definitely kind of just take the pressure off of that bandit a little bit more. As we see Astro playing all the way upstairs, it's not too uncommon to see this. He can take a lot of control, as at it as well. Can take a lot of control from upstairs as the thermite wall gonna get open with no contestation whatsoever. No bandit, no mute, easy peasy. The wall will get open as we see Shisui all the way upstairs. Confusing just a little bit. That wall had no protection at all. The moment that the mute jammers and the bandits were destroyed, he just kind of left them there. And it only took a minute, which usually could take a lot more time to open up the garage wall.
Right, and I believe that maybe they had some intel. As Seven's already in sight here.
What? Making
Making his way through. They have control of garage. As Seven's going to be unfortunately fragged here by Classic. Very unfortunate here for Viper as they have control of garage. Nader's going to get the plant down behind the white van. As Aoeah's going to try to give him some protection. Meanwhile, Classic's going to get a second kill here onto Aoeah. Third kill onto Nader. 2v5 situation here for Viper. As Shisui's going to get the flag onto Geo. Meanwhile, Bean is getting the frag here onto Classic in a 1v4 situation. Gets a second frag here onto Ashworld. 1v3 situation. He has to deal with a really lit bandit as Shisui's going to get his third kill here. And this is just a very interesting round here from both of these teams with the bandit playing upstairs and that Viper just got control of garage so easily. I'm just confused as to why they've opted to go plant all the way towards the steps instead of just planting right there in front of the van. Maybe they didn't have control of yellow stairs or something happened there, but Viper could have had a very easy round there.
I definitely feel like that was Viper being way too linear and really expecting it. What I want to think, and I could be dead wrong, as we see Shisui going to confirm the pick, but okay. I feel like that was almost purposeful from Relentless. They were kind of setting up a collapse strategy. Hey, I mean, it can work, but I feel like they set up a collapse strategy of sorts. As Shisui will go into his MVP operator so far as Pulse. He's been doing a great job with that, but it almost seems like they had that collapse strategy just in the back of their minds, and they were ready to throw it out on them. And that's why they wanted to let the garage wall get open, because they had that sense of control, and that would basically tunnel vision them into thinking, yeah, let's go through tunnel. How?
Oh, no, that's a very unfortunate shot here from Trader, as team kills are not rehostable.
What was he trying to do?
I don't know. Maybe he saw a drone and he got in the way. But unfortunately, that's going to be the Jaeger down here for Relentless, an already uneven man count. As Jaeger is a very pivotal operator here for this site.
Okay.
That's very unfortunate here for Relentless.
I'm not sure if he got his ADS. Okay, well, already a bad start here for Relentless to get rid of that Jaeger early on, so I'd like to assume he didn't get any of his ADSs down. And I guess nothing stops Echo from being the best droner in this map. I don't know.
Well, Relentless can still kind of win this. They're playing upstairs, which Viper will need to clear out in order to get a plant going on in the lobby, as Geo is setting up a claymore here for a potential run out. It's a very interesting placement, but we'll see what happens with that claymore should anyone decide to run out from the Visa office. As Shisui is currently roaming downstairs near the cafeteria, things are going to come out here for Seven to peek through as he can try to establish his presence. Meanwhile, Seven's going to be taking some shots here from Astro. And there's going to be a run out here from Astro, getting the kill onto Seven as he's repelling. Very unfortunate timing for Seven. That's going to be the glass down. And that's going to be a questionable call from me, why the glass is trying to contest people upstairs instead of another operator. Where, honestly, I think Ollie would have been a better pick to get the frag here. Meanwhile, Astro's going to get the second kill of the round. And Classic's gonna get the third here onto Ollie with the 2v4 situation. Like I said, Viper can still lose this, and it's looking like it's gonna be exactly that here.
Turning this round upside down from them. Bad start in the beginning, but I feel like what's happening is that they're being so linear, like I talked about. As Nader will get the frag here on the smoke, the opening frag for them at this point, leaving this at a 2v3. He's going to peek spiral staircase where they're I believe sitting underneath, and they have upstairs control, but at what cost? They only have a thermite and an IQ, which aren't really useful post plant. Or actually, no, I take that back. IQ is very useful in this case. I mean, you still have a pulse, a legion, and an echo alive. The thermite, not so much. I would have much rather had the Capitao and the glass with me, maybe even Dokkaebi. So a lot of your planting operators down, as Gio's struggling to get the echo drone, so it doesn't even look like the IQ is gonna help whatsoever.
That's unfortunate. I think he was hitting the railings there on the floor, which wasn't getting the echo drone.
I'm sorry, Gio. I'm sorry for.
But 45 seconds left into the round here, and Viper looking very lost as to where to push. They've wasted almost an entire minute up here just wondering on how to make this push, as they were given the man advantage, but they just completely threw it away, giving away 3 of their own team members, all up there in the karaoke room. Still with 25 seconds left to go here. Viper questioning where to push, how to push this. And meanwhile, Nader's going to drop as the Echo Drones are going to be stunning, and that's going to be the round here for Viper, as Relentless is going to have 3 rounds on the board already against Viper.
Viper's lack of control is what's throwing them. They got control of upstairs, but not only do they not know what to do with it, but that's also all that they had. It's like taking a diamond and then seeing somebody with an entire ship of gold. I would much rather have the ship of gold than I would the diamond. It's like going on a heist mission, stealing $100, and then looking in the vault and seeing 1,000, getting arrested. Like that's how it feels. I mean, I don't know what bank would have 1,000. They probably bankrupt, but bankrupt. But like, they have their control, and then they completely throw everything else out the window. They can only have control one place at one time, and that's a massive problem. They're not spread out, and they're not collapsing on top. They're not collapsing like an orb or like something power. Oh, I guess maybe it was an AFK kill in the end. I'm not sure. Okay. I mean, maybe that was it, but Viper get control one thing, they lose control of the other. That's how it works for them, and that's what's becoming the problem, as they've already guaranteed themselves.
Right, and I don't think Relentless here knows that you can't get kicked from custom games. This isn't ranked, unfortunately, but they just wasted at its life. But either way, Relentless was still able to come out on top on that round.
You know how we're doing stat tracking now?
That's gonna be a very interesting stat to track here.
Rest in peace, KP.
But still, Relentless is having a very strong showing here against Viper, which is catching me by surprise, as I know that Viper has some fans out there thinking that they were gonna have a strong showing here against Relentless, but it looks like Relentless is just catching Viper off guard, and Viper has looked very lost here on Consulate, and it's just very unfortunate.
Yeah, and like I said, already guaranteed to half. Relentless are so powerful right now. They're just dominating. And it mainly comes down to the fact that they know where to be at the right time, which is the opposite of Viper. They have control of things that they need. They don't have control of things that they want. They don't waste their time. And I feel like one thing that they should change up in their strategy is getting control of admin office. But I mean, they won their last offense, or they won their last defense here, so I'm not going to question it.
Right, and I'm curious as to see why the last time that Relentless was playing in console office, that they knew that there was a pulse downstairs, and Bean was actually very close to getting that frag, but it looks like Seven has taken upon the IQ role, and I'm not too sure why Viper hasn't tried to make the call to try to clear out that pulse from underneath, when the pulse was the one that actually gave the round all to Relentless in the very first round.
Yeah, and he's just getting this intel without Viper even knowing. And if they don't get this pulse down, they could potentially throw the round. As we do see a drone will come down, most likely spotting out Pulse eventually. They need to get him out somehow, and it might just be the drone work. And we see actually crossfire here from Seven. He could potentially win the round here if he gets his kill. It's going to be a round-winning kill, and he will land it. That's a great kill there. And now all you have to rely on for Planta now is Echo and your 3 remaining players, the 3 Musketeers, even though there's 4 of them. We're going to have to see what they're going to do without this Pulse, because that's a major operator down.
Right, as the first Dokkaebi call has already come out underway. We've already got half the round gone here, and that's a very good frag for Seven to take down the pulse of Shisui. As Viper is starting to make their move onto the site here, kind of stalling around, kind of stalling their attack. And that's my dad yelling. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, but Viper just looks very lost here onto where to push. They have the Capitao for the smokes, and if Ollie just were to shoot through this table, he can take out Astro. Astro being a little unaware here as he's trying to contest the window here. You know, Flash is gonna come in and miss Astro. With 50 seconds left to go, Gio's gonna get the frag onto Astro. Very good frag here from Gio. Second Dokkaebi call has made its way out. The smokes are gonna go off. Plant's probably gonna go off in a little bit here. Classic trying to get some pre-fires on the window, but his shots will miss. Gio getting the Legion Mine out of his leg as Bean starts the plant inside of the karaoke room. Seven's gonna get the second frag onto Classic, peeking his way through the site as Ollie gets the frag onto Adit. And Seven with a very good wall bang here onto Trader.
Can't hit the cam though in the end, but nonetheless, absolutely amazing. Great prediction.
Great communication from Viper to be able to take down Shisui at the beginning of the round. And not only was it able to save them the round, but I think maybe the improved comms, if they had improved comms, was able to help them and persevere throughout that round.
So I did my research, and apparently there is a fourth Musketeer. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
So I mean, I was right in the end. But anyway, there's still 5 of them, but one of them was dead, got wasted. Anyway, a great round there from Viper, completely turning around the tide of this game. Hopefully for them, as they had a full-on 5-0 round. I mean, that was incredible. That to see them go down 3 rounds and then to have a flawless round, that's pretty good, and that's definitely looking up for Viper. They just need to play like that way more, because that was incredible. I mean, they worked as a team. They worked as a coalition, as a militia. They stormed the building. They got control of what they wanted, and they used it to their advantage. They spearheaded one of the best attacks that I've ever seen. And Relentless weren't able to hold on. They lost their pulse first thing, which I said was a round-winning kill. Was I right? I don't know. But just getting the frags that you need, getting the control that you need, that's what Viper needs to do. And they had a great round. We're going to have to see if they're going to be able to carry it on over to Garage.
Right, and I think that with the role change there, that where Bean wasn't using his utility as much as he needed to, and Seven and the Ollie droning out Ollie droning out Shisui to give the information to Seven to be able to take out the pulse was very critical. And I'm just surprised as to why Shisui didn't have anyone playing with him to go for trades. And like I've said before in past broadcasts, that if you're roaming, it's always best to have a backup roamer, so that way if you do get fragged and they're close by you, they can attempt to try to trade that frag for you and try to get an even man count, maybe even bring the man advantage into your favor.
See, I feel like the way that Ollie could have gotten out of that, Shisui could have gotten out of that situation is if he had used his cardiac sensor to spot out that IQ. But then again, that's one of those things where it's like you kind of don't think of it when you're in that situation. You only think of it when you look back at it. You can't really just make that split-second decision, because once you know that somebody's coming down the hall, which actually in the end he actually didn't. He was too tunnel vision on looking up into admin, which, I mean, he's doing his job in the end. That's perfectly okay. But if he was getting droned out, he should definitely be a lot more cautious than he was.
Right. Alrighty, well, the first minute coming down to a close here on round number 5, as we're seeing Viper trying to make their way through the garage here, as they don't have anyone to take out the bandit batteries. Very questionable call. Oh my goodness. Relentless getting the first 2 frags of the round here onto both, no, not Ollie. Oh my goodness, that's a very interesting, wow.
Capitao gone. That's a lot of utility. We see that Viper love to play their Capitao. And now that Capitao's gone, you have to wonder if their entire, what's the word I'm looking for? If their entire strategy will fall apart, as we will see Ollie win that fight, get at least 1 frag on the board. That's a Jaeger and a Roamer. But Shisui's still alive, and he has control of the lobby. And now coming down the yellow stairs, a second kill, finally, to equalize it out, as he's throwing his smoke grenades, and this is where he can reign supreme. So will come out from Shisui, and he's going to try and look for this plant denial. but nothing happening yet as the Vigil of Astro will be able to get a kill onto Ollie. Plant will go down here. Another kill here from Astro. All they need to kill is that IQ behind White Van, and will be Astro to get a third. It will! A great kill there. He'll stick or Bandit will steal the defuse from him. And even when Viper had a rally, Relentless able to steal that half 4-1.
Relentless with the very good retake here, being able to compose themselves, being able to calm themselves, and get the frags that they needed in order to secure the round win. And Viper looking pretty shaken up, as I'm pretty sure they were coming into this match with a ton of confidence, but it looks like Relentless has shaken their confidence, and Viper doesn't have anything to respond with.
I mean, yeah, that was just a great round from Viper last time, but then Relentless just made an even better one, and they had the advantage in the early rounds, so it almost looked like a little bit of foreshadowing. But easily, Ollie was able to regain control with 2 kills with that glass. But again, it comes back to that linear playstyle. All they had control of was Garage. They even lost control of Yellow Stairs. That being when Ollie was killed by the Vigil. The moment that they lost Yellow Stairs control, that's where the pipes began to open, and that's where the players begun to flow in and retake site,
Right.
catching off. I guess catching the rotate outside off guard maybe, but in the end, I feel like they should have definitely been way more careful, and they should have had a lot more control when going for that plant.
Right, and Viper would look pretty lost once they lost their Zofia and the Capital at the beginning of the round, within the first minute of the round. And after that, Viper after they got the plant down, they just didn't know where to watch. They had too many angles to watch as Relentless was pushing everything that they could, and Viper just got gunned.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the main perpetrator to that death was them trying to get out of Garage, really. They got caught with their pants down, in my opinion. But nonetheless, it's Viper's turn to defend. Will they be better is the question. Will they be able to retake Consulate, or will this be Relentless's? Because keep in mind, this is Relentless's pick, Consulate, and they are showing that it's their pick.
Right.
So Garage will be the site of...
Meanwhile, moving over into the first round of the second half here, we're going to see Viper playing downstairs in the Garage, as Ollie's trying to make his mark here with the bandit trick, as Gio is trying to cover his team from the server unit, as Relentless is doing for a complete top-bottom take, where they're clearing everything from admin, everything karaoke down to the console office, making their way through lobby, making sure that everything's clear for themselves, so that way they can be able to get the soft destruction going. And this is a very good call here from Relentless.
Yeah, they're going to get control of the lobby, and we're going to see Ollie try and counter this with a Nitro Cell, barely missing though, and won't hit anybody. And we see the Buck is just tearing things up with that skeleton key. And that's going to be a major problem here for Viper if they're not able to take control of upstairs once again, as we do see Gio walking up the white stairs. It will be, or sorry, the office stairs. It will be Astro to get a kill. However, he will be immediately refragged by 7 with a great Nitro Cell onto Shisui, and no longer will those walls get bullied, or will those ceiling get bullied. As we see, trying to combat this is the smoke and the smoke and the mirror, as we do see combat here between Gio and the Jackal, and it'll be Gio to win that out. Classic goes down, and Gio trying to retake upstairs control, which is a great call. And they need this upstairs control if they want. Right now, Relentless need upstairs control if they want to win this. But Gio is taking that from him. Adit will be able to refrag and save his fallen comrade, or avenge his fallen comrade by getting a kill onto Bean. And now you have 2 players in sight, and you have 1 player upstairs. This is what Viper want. But the problem is Gio is extremely low, so any gunfight that he will take will most definitely be a loss unless he shoots first in the head.
Right, and we do see both attackers here still outside of the Garage, as we're going to be seeing shots here from Trader miss and eventually land the headshot onto 7. I'm not too sure why he was peeking, but it's going to give them an even round count, as Gio is currently playing above, waiting for the attackers to push in, as he patiently waits for Trader to try to push through the thermite charge. As Nader's going to get fragged here. Meanwhile, Gio gets the trade onto Audit, and the plant's going down behind the white van, as Trader's getting the plant going down here. He sticks to plan. He's going to make his way behind the white van, waiting for Geo to come through. Just needs one shot. And Geo's going to hit a nice shot here onto Trader, winning the round for Viper. And that's, I believe, going to be a round-winning confidence booster here for... Not round-winning. I believe it's going to be a good confidence boost here for Viper, as it's going to give them a lot more morale boost into their next round.
Absolutely agree there. I mean, Geo doing absolutely amazing in a situation that should not. I mean, the first thing you did was you lost all your anchors. It was all up to 1 health Geo. I mean, there is nothing that was going right for him, and he somehow managed to pull off a great shot through the bomb, or through the white van and through the yellow pillar, as well as the bomb a little bit. So that was a shot that he should not have hit. It's almost as if he was Odysseus from the Odyssey. And yes, I am reading that in English class, but that clash. Well, obviously, I need an English class. But anyway, a great shot there from Geo. An unlikely situation to win. He'll pull it out, however, and it'll be a great round from Viper. Finally able to secure another round, first round on the defense, and we're gonna have to wonder. I want to say that Viper might be way more confident on defense, but the problem being that's their first round in quite some time, and that's there was only one player remaining in the end. It was all up to Geo, and that was it. It was a clutch situation. It was a clutch scenario. In general, the entire team played that sloppy. They lost their anchors, and that was it. I'd want to call Geo the MVP so far of this half for them, for Viper, especially because of that play. But without that play, I feel like Viper would have most certainly lost that. So now lobby and press is going to be the site of choice, or lobby and piano rather, is going to be the site of choice. Unusual, they are not wanting to go upstairs, instead choosing that middle floor. And we actually, the setup here from Relentless really doesn't hint towards them being ready for either. I mean, they have a thermite, which isn't really the best for the upstairs control in general. So, I mean, I'm not too sure whether bringing a thermite and a buck as well. I guess buck can kind of help out in this scenario, but I don't know. Bringing a thermite's a bit odd as we see 7 going upstairs. Not going to find anybody. And to correct myself, I do think buck is good on this map in general. So, actually, we could talk a little bit about buck. The thing about why buck is really good is because of the layers that this map has. I mean, the amount that you can do with a skeleton key on every single site is absurd. I mean, you can deny bandit battery tricks on the garage. You can deny admin. You can deny lobby or what am I trying to say? CEO office. There's a lot you can do with buck, and I'm not surprised to see him being brought out every round so far for Relentless.
Right, and buck's a very versatile operator for pretty much every map that's in the competitive map pool. As the first track here is going to come out from Classic, and it's going to be he's going to be tagging it's the Echo, maybe. As Relentless here is trying to make their push. It's going to be tracking the castle. I'm sorry. As the Relentless is going to be trying to make their push over to the karaoke room. Astroworld's pushing in as 7 gets the first frag onto Trader. Classic peeking over with the Legion playing on the spiral stairs. Shots going to be coming out here, and the Audit's going to come down onto 7. Audit's going to get fragged by Classic, and meanwhile 7's going to get fragged by Astro, leaving Astro with a 2K here onto Nader with a 2v3 situation for Viper. And all that's left is just the Jaeger and the Echo of Viper to take down the Buck, Jackal, and Zofia of Relentless. With only a minute 17 left to go, Viper still has a chance to win this out here. This Geo's going to be peeking from the hatch, making his way back over to the A site. And Bean's trying to get this drone, but he can't. Finally does. And Geo trying to see if he can go for maybe a flank here on the yellow stairs. Trying to see if he can bait people coming to the yellow stairs as Shisui's making his way through the spiral stairs. Trying to see if he can get some droning going here for his team. With only 48 seconds left to go, Classic's going to be peeking the connector as Bean is going to try to contest this hatch. Classic thinking of tossing a smoke down, and he will. Shisui watching across, but he looks away just at the wrong time as Bean comes around and gets the frag onto Classic. Shisui with very unfortunate timing here, not knowing where Bean is. And if he just were to peek around this corner, he can spot Bean. But Bean being ready for this take here, he's waiting for Shisui to pop around the corner. He gets the second frag onto Shisui! With just Geo and my words are just fumbling all over me, but Gio's gonna be able to win the round here for Viper, and Viper is not giving up on this match here.
Yeah, winning their second defense so far. Amazing plays both from the Echo and the Jaeger to secure that round. Amazing frags overall, and now this is turned on its head. 3-4. Viper only need one more round to equalize this out.
Right, it's very reminiscent as to what we saw last week with you and I casting the Chroma Knight versus, I believe it was who was it
Pride.
that they played? Pride. Yeah, very reminiscent of that, where a team would win 2 rounds in a row, and then another team would win 2 rounds in a row, coming up to tie it. Well, in this case, Viper was down 1-4, and they've been able to win 2 rounds in a row against Relentless. Relentless is looking a little shaken up here, losing these first 2 attack rounds.
Yeah, definitely great play so far from Viper on this defense, and they're finally going to be forced to go upstairs, which is something they haven't done at all this game so far. Deciding to go into garage and then to the lobby and piano room, which did work out in the end. But now going into probably your most common bomb site that you'll see on this map, and it's no wonder. I mean, you have so many advantages here. The only problem is admin office. That's the most highly contested place on this map, and from what we saw from Relentless, they weren't contesting it whatsoever. Could be different on the side of Viper. We'll have to see. But whenever Relentless were playing this, they kind of just castled it off and forgot about it, which I felt like came back to bite them in the second round that they defended this, where Viper were able to just storm the beaches and destroy. But we're gonna see Viper doing the same thing. They're just barricading, or no, maybe they're not. Never mind. They're gonna be using wooden barricades though, not as good as the castle barricades, but nonetheless, we're just gonna see players instead of castle barricades taking control of admin.
Right, and I do see that. I was wondering what was going on in the minds of Relentless, as they had the man advantage with half the round left to play out. They took control of upstairs, which is what they exactly needed. I'm not too sure what happened with Relentless's push there. From what I noticed with a lot of these teams, they tend to stall out once they start to get control of the map. They don't keep their momentum going. And if you want to survive and keep your momentum going in this league, you need to not slow down and keep your momentum going.
Yeah, and actually, I don't know if Mira's been banned. I'm not.
She has, I think.
Okay.
Oh no, she hasn't. Seven was playing her downstairs.
Oh yeah, they're not bringing a Mira, which could be really helpful for that control. Instead, kind of just taking it all the way back without a Mira, and we're gonna see a peak here.
no.
Interesting. And if Gio wins, this will be a major frag, but Ollie instead will win out a fight against a Buck. Shisui has been playing a lot of Buck recently, and we haven't been talking about him as much, mainly due to the fact that Buck isn't really one of those operators that you see in the highlights too much. Pulse definitely, but Buck is just kind of that quiet support operator that is also not quiet because he basically renovates your house. But
Gio dodging some very tight shots here from Astros. Astro's missing everything he has onto Gio's. Gio's just trying to play a cat and mouse game with Astro, trying to say, like, you can peek me, but you can't shoot me. And I think that Seven would have been a little bit better off taking Mira here instead of the alibi. Maybe he's trying to go for some peeks. As unfortunately, Astro's going to get the frag onto Gio finally after a minute 40 into the round. Seven's trying to go for a refrag here, just waiting to see if Astro's going to try to peek him again. Meanwhile, Bean's going to get the frag and even it up here for Viper onto Addit. With Trader currently playing on the yellow stairs with this Thermite. They have only a minute left to go here, as once again the attack from Relentless is stalling out.
Yeah, they're gonna have to begin pushing soon, but they have an Echo, and if Bean is able to survive, he can tear up a lot of this attack. As we see, Astro will begin making his way into sight, but he will be met by Smoke with a shotgun. We'll go down though and secure that. He's gonna look for the Thirst. Not so sure if he actually knows it.
Yeah, he sees the trail of blood that Smoke is leaving behind us as Bean is getting the frag onto Classic, evening it out to a 2v2 situation here as the frag is going to come onto, oh my goodness, as Relentless is just going to win the map, the round here. Very unfortunate peaks coming out from Viper, as it looked like Bean just didn't know where to position himself. He got a little over aggressive there and he paid the price for it.
Doing absolutely amazing work there, and it was all up to Bean whenever the alibi and the Smoke were down. But what I'm really confused about is why Bean played extremely aggressive and why they're putting Bean on these roles where he plays extremely aggressive. I mean, you had him on IQ at one point, yeah, now you have him on Echo, and he peaked. I mean, he ran all the way into Baguette and just peaked everything. That's
right. Well, I think he was trying to
weird.
pick up his teammate with Nader on the smoke, and he probably felt that he didn't have any other choice besides to try to peek, given that Astro had just gotten the frag onto Nader. Maybe he thought he had enough time to peek around and get the frag, but Astro read him like a book and was able to read his movement and got the frag.
Yeah, but what I'm confused about is I don't know why he, as a one speed,
Mm-hmm.
would run into connector to try and revive his teammate, which is doomed to die, instead of playing back and possibly getting a plant denial with the Echo.
Right, and I think if you were to play, right, and I think if you were still playing in CEO, trying to hide behind the desk and trying to play with his Echo drone and trying to get some crossfires, because he could have honestly just played in CEO, hidden with a peek over at the rotation into the connector and gotten the frag onto Asteroid before he gets the frag onto Nader. But maybe he just wasn't aware of Asteroid's position. Maybe he thought he was further along long desk over in the little lobby area that's upstairs. But we don't know here, as Relentless is currently on match point with a 5-3 lead, as Viper has chosen to go downstairs into the garage. And last time that Viper played here, they were unfortunately not able to close out the round. And Viper was kind of unfortunately lost against Relentless on their last garage take.
Yep. So Viper were having a bit of a rally for themselves. They won 2 rounds in a row, putting them at 4-3. But now I believe Relentless have woken back up and they're ready. They're ready to kind of lock this map out because it has been very risky, especially when you saw Viper 1 round away from tying it up with them. But now that Relentless are at match point, they have more of an advantage because of the fact that more of an advantage in terms of mentality. Now that Viper are kind of just fighting for this map, and that could be really tough to think about when you kind of put your mind to. It's like, if we don't win this round, this is it. We're gonna lose Consulate. And while they do have their home map of Bank next, you still definitely want to at least try and put up a fight and win Consulate. That way, you have an advantage going into your next map. But mind the mental game. Relentless are doing good.
Right, it's Classic's going to get the ping here onto Jaeger, which is going to be Geo, but Geo is not roaming. He's going to be playing in sight by him, playing in the cafeteria. 7 going for some really aggressive plays, as he's going to get the frag onto Trader. That's going to be their thermite down. Meanwhile, Attic gets the trade right back onto 7, and that's, for one, the thermite's dead, but he's already done his job in getting the wall open. I don't think there was a need to waste away his life there, as it's currently a 4v4 situation with 1:20 left to go on match point. As Classic gets the second frag for Relentless onto Ollie. It's going to be the castle dead here. Very unfortunate for Viper. While Bean is playing on this mirror window with Nader trying to cover his team on the yellow stairs. Zio's going to try to go for some pre-fire shots out onto the garage access way. And if Nader were to push up here, and Nader's actually going to get the frag onto Classic. That's the Jackal dead. As Audit is going to get the frag onto Geo. 2v3 situation for Viper. Well, Nader's trying to get some angles here, trying to get some peeks, waiting for anyone to try to come into the garage, as there's nobody playing, excuse me, there is one playing upstairs. Bean getting the frag onto Astro. Very nice shot here coming out from Bean, as Plant's going to try to go down behind the white van. Bean's making his way towards the white van, and he's going to be able to down the Thatcher, as Audit and Shisui left in a 1v2 situation, taking damage from the smoke. With 23 seconds left to go, it's all up to Shisui to try to win this out here for Relentless. But with the shotgun of Nader, I don't think he's going to be able to win this round with 15 seconds left to go. He has to get this frag onto Nader if he wants to win this round. Meanwhile, Bean's going to get the frag onto Shisui, and Viper's going to live to see another round here on Consulate.
They are just hanging on, and it will not be match point. It won't be match point for them. It won't be overtime. They have to win one more round in hopes of keeping their dreams alive. Relentless still have the threat of match points. All they have to do is cut this round out, and that'll be it. They'll win Consulate. That's the pressure that's going through the minds of Viper, because if they win, they don't have much to deal with. They just kind of have to go into overtime, while Relentless only need one more to go onto the next map, which could be tough for them. I mean, it is Bank is Viper's, and the way that Viper have been playing, they've been kind of on and off. But if they perform well on Relentless's map, I'd rather be sure that I'd probably be sure that Bank would be a great map for them. They'll have a little bit more consistency, especially if it's their pick. They probably practice it a lot, maybe that, or it's just some random pick. But who knows? We'll just have to see if they are able to hang on here, or if they will fall to Relentless on Consulate. So this will be Viper's potentially last defense if they're not able to hang on before going either into overtime or into Bank. And they are going to be choosing Lobby and Piano, which is a secondary bomb site, really. I don't see why they hate going upstairs so much, but nonetheless, it worked out for them the first time, so we're just going to have to see. The thing about Rainbow Six, though, is that you cannot just repeat your strategies over and over again. That'll just be completely different, because while the enemy team have adjusted to what you did the first time, you're just kind of staying there and crossing your fingers that it'll work again. That's not really how it works sometimes. You have to play your strategies a lot more differently. You have to play you have to play new cards. And we're gonna have to see if it works out. They have actually switched up their roles. We see Bean on Smoke instead of Echo, which is where Ollie will be sitting. And we see Nader all the way upstairs going for a spawn peek and not going to probably land it, as a drone will spot him out. And he's going to run away, not able to get any kill. And nothing, really, no advantage so far except for a little bit of fear, as Relentless will now probably begin opening up the lobby wall, or the lobby doorway, and begin taking their control.
Right, we've seen a little bit of an operator change here. Shisui has opted to go onto the Ash instead of the Buck. And normally when you take Ash, at least in the competitive setting, you're just trying to go for just for fragging. You're trying to get as many frags as you can as quick as possible to try to get your team as much of an advantage as you can. And meanwhile, as Viper is currently holed up here upstairs in the console and the karaoke room, Relentless has already wasted a minute of their time. And the last time they were up here, they were able to get control of upstairs within the first half. As Ada is just cautiously aware of the peek coming out from the connector, not wanting to try to waste away his life here. And Shisui is currently peeking out from these rocks. Meanwhile, we're coming up here on the halfway mark of the round, as shots are going to come out from Classic into the connector in the karaoke room. As Nader's trying to get an angle, just waiting for Classic to come around, as Gio's just going to mindlessly run it into the console office. I don't know if there's a lack of communication there from Nader telling him not to move in there, but that's just a waste of his life. With the minute 20 coming up, Relentless is yet again stalling out their attack and not knowing what to do or where to push. Almost like they're waiting for Viper to just get aggressive and peek them.
Yeah, as they begin storming the site here, we're gonna have to see if they will work against them, as the plane will begin going down. No pressure whatsoever from upstairs. As a matter of fact, Ollie will go down. So no more Echo drones, but a myriad of kills here from both the Smoke and the C4 of 7 will shut him down. Another kill here from Bean. Absolutely incredible here. Now you only have the Ash and the IQ left, but that'll be the IQ to shut down the Smoke. 2v2 situation. Shisui gonna shoot.
Oh no, he's gonna get the defuse, maybe, possibly. Oh no, Nader's gonna fall.
Saving that
as
defuse.
BS7 gets the frag onto Classic. 1v1 situation here for Shisui on very low HP. And meanwhile, Shisui gets he gets killed here by 7. 7 being able to clutch out the round for Viper and getting the defuse to bring the map onto overtime here.
They will begin to they will finally put themselves onto overtime. It's been a long time coming. They've been fighting, and it finally works out in the end. It will be the overtime. And as chat has guessed, or as some of chat has guessed, we'll go in to our hard reset, 5-5. No rules apply anymore. Back and forth on attack on defense. We're gonna have to see if Viper will prevail. They definitely had a great defense half. Question is will they be able to do good on this defense? And whenever they are having to go onto offense again after this round.
Right, and I do think that getting defense first on overtime gives you a lot more momentum, given that you just came off of a defense round instead of having to switch over to an attack position. And I think Viper is actually going to claw their way back and potentially win map number 1 here on Consulate.
I mean, the way that they've been playing, they've been an unstoppable train of momentum, and we're gonna have to see if it works out. I mean, they've been doing great. They're going to have Gio Possibly on the Cav, being very, very conspicuous, and it's going to be the Jaeger instead. But yeah, Cav is risky, but I do believe that whenever you have that hard reset on overtime, you can kind of surprise your enemy.
Right. They won't expect the Cav to come out of the corner, and especially given that it's a garage take. If the attackers are roam clearing upstairs and they're not cautious of their surroundings, they're not droning as much as they should be. The Cav can work out, given that it's the element of surprise, and she can also give up the attacker's location.
Yeah,
Should she get the interrogation?
Yeah, the interrogation is a really good. It's really good utility wise because you kind of have that knowledge. But I feel like over time, Cav's interrogations have become less and less useful with the addition of surveillance operators such as Maestro and Valkyrie being played a lot more often. But you don't have a Valkyrie on Consulate, I guess. But in general, Cav isn't very useful. The only thing that I believe sets her apart, I mean, actually, it depends. Actually, it really depends because an interrogation could easily switch out the entire easily switch around the entire momentum of the game. It can basically make thank you, Ollie. But it can make your entire game or make your entire offense have to flip on its head, do a new strategy because all their locations are known, or it'll just kind of be a shrug of the shoulders. Oh, you killed one of our players. You got an interrogation. So be it. And most of the time, you don't get interrogations, especially on comp, because you always have a teammate next to each other, and you'll probably drone out the Cav and know that there is one, so you'll have pairs together. That way, you don't get interrogated. So I wouldn't say that Cav is very useful. She can work sometimes, but it really just comes down to it. I believe that Jaeger is way more useful.
Right, as the first minute's already passed here, Classic's making his way down the yellow stairs, getting some footprints as he's going to be able to spot out Geo on that Jaeger. And Astro's currently making his way and abusing the game-breaking silent drop, as frags are going to come out here from Ollie onto Astro. Very good frag here from Ollie to be able to take out their soft destructor, as well as to get rid of those concussion mines. Ollie making his way back over to the blue hallway, as Bean is cautiously playing here in the office, trying to give his team some information. Meanwhile, Shisui's making his way over at the spiral stairs as Audit is cautiously playing outside and droning for his team outside of garage. Classic making his way into piano to try to see if he can get some soft destruction going. As Gio's going for a flank here, a pretty late flank up the main stair, up the Visa stairs, along with Ollie, so that way Ollie's able to get the refrag for him. Meanwhile, with a minute left to go here, as these defenders are gonna not get spotted out by that drone that Audit could have been watching. We see Ollie making his way down the spiral stairs here, potentially going for a flank. As Bean has a pretty cheeky peek hole there on the garage. Ollie just waiting for one of the attackers to just make his way over into the lobby area and just slip up. With 40 seconds left to go here, Bean's going to be looking around on his Echo Drone. His Echo Drone is going to get shot here. Meanwhile, Seven's going to get fragged by Trader, and Bean's going to be taking some shots. Unfortunately, they're going to be missing from Audit. Good frag here from Nader coming onto Trader as Audit's making his way, and Geo gets the frag onto Classic as Audit gets the frag onto Bean. 3v2 situation with 20 seconds left to go here for Viper. Geo gets the third frag onto Shisui. 3v1 situation for Audit, making his way through the white stairs, going into the cafeteria with 10 seconds left to go. He has to get the diffuser down. Plan starts to go down with 6 seconds left to go as Ollie is outside and Geo making his way. The defenders don't know where he's currently at. Plan is going to go down. Defenders trying to make their way over to the cafeteria. Audit he's going to lose the gunfight here from Ollie. Incredible round here from Ollie to give Viper the boost that they need to win, to go up 6-5 here on Consulate.
Castle tanking through those shots must have accidentally got some rubble in his gear whenever he was going through, but it saved his life in the end. That should have not been a fight that Audit lost. That should have been Ollie dying. But Viper have taken their 5th round in a row, and now it's them that are on match point.
Yeah, Viper has been extremely well here within the second half of the. I know, but they've just been on a tear. They've been on a tear here. Their confidence is back to where they need to be. And look at that, 7 and Bean with 11 frags each as Astro is trying his hardest to get Relentless into the position they need to try to close out map number 1. And what's crazy is that this was Relentless's map pick. And I think that's just insane that Viper is just crawling their way back from being down 2-4 against Relentless, being down 3-5 even. And Viper just does not want to give up and lose this map here.
Yeah, and they are just clawing their way in. If you don't remember, it was, what was it? It was 4-1 by the time the first half ended, and now we're seeing Viper 1 round away from winning Consulate. Relentless's map. I definitely feel like Viper have been really, really consistent when it comes to making out their mistakes. But the problem is they now have to attack. They only won a single attack round against Relentless. So Relentless's favorite is defense. Viper's favorite is defense. And they gotta wake up, because if they can't win this offense, or actually, well, they have a lifeline in a sense. I guess they go back on defense. Is it a coin flip, or do they go on defense?
I think it's just random, to be honest. As we see Shisui yet again playing.
So yeah, they're going. Thank you, Red, from the heavens. They'll go on defense again, so they will have the advantage. But I would think for security they should win this round.
Yeah, as we see Shisui yet again playing downstairs in the server. Seven's going to come around for a drone, as the drone is not going to spot him. Never mind, it is going to spot him. Seven currently knows where Shisui is playing, as he's been playing down here multiple times whenever Relentless has been playing upstairs in the console office. As I expect to see Viper trying to go for a pinch down here onto Shisui, excuse me. Shisui's still playing down here on the blue stairs, as Ollie is currently droning downstairs, trying to drone out where Shisui is at. Call's going to come out from Beam, is try to see if he can give Seven the intel that he needs. As the frag is going to come out from Adit onto Nader. Very good frag here from Adit, as Seven is currently playing on the spiral stairs, not trying to pinch out this Pulse. And Pulse is still playing down on the server, so he doesn't have too much of an impact given in his current situation right now. But if he rotates out and makes a successful rotation, he can be a difference maker for Relentless.
Yep. So now Seven begins pushing up the stairs here, taking a lot of control, getting rid of an Echo drone as well. And that's a lot of utility. Trader only has 1 more Echo, and we know how effective Trader is with Echo. He's probably one of the best Echo players in REDCUBE. But to see one of his drones go down is a major utility waster, as a major utility down, as we will see IQ go down and Ollie nearly losing his life, as he will be on 1 HP. Shisui has the challenge of this Claymore. He does not want to cross the line. He won't. He'll make his way over here, as we'll see Legion finally a frag on the side of Viper, and another frag. However,
Adit's gonna get the frag onto Ollie. Seven gets the trade onto Adit. 3v3 even count here with 50 seconds left to go. Seven making his way. He's gonna probably get the peak here. And just the timing of Classic is just too much for him right now, as the peak's going to come around, and Classic hits the shot onto Seven. 2v3 situation, and yet again, Shisui has made his way underneath into the lobby. If he's able to get the C4 out onto the planter, which the attackers don't even have, and Gio's going to get fragged here by Trader. 1v3 situation, 25 seconds left to go. It's all up to Bean in a 1v3 situation against both an Echo and a Pulse, as well as the Castle. And I think Viper's going to lose this round here unless Bean's able to make some crazy plays coming around here with the CZ7, as he looks the wrong way. And Classic's going to get the frag onto Bean, giving him an even round count at 6-6.
Relentless finally winning the first round in a while, and it'll be their defense. Not surprising, they had a really good defense last time. Both teams are very defense-oriented, but now it'll be Viper to go on defense. This could be detrimental. This could be fatal for Relentless if they're not able to win this attack, because Viper are such a defense-heavy. Like I said, both teams are very defense-heavy. So to see Viper have that advantage is really tough for Relentless. They have to make something happen. They have to make a miracle. They have to do something different than they have been. Lobby Press will be the site of choice for Viper. We're going to see if it works out for them.
Right. This has been a very good match here. And just the fact that, once again, like I said before, Viper able to claw their way back from being down 2-4 and forcing an overtime here against Relentless on Relentless's map pick has just been a beautiful sight to see here. And we're seeing Astro so far with 15 frags on the map, as well as 13 frags coming out from, I think it's Shisui maybe? Yeah, no, it's Classic. I'm sorry. Classic with 13 and 7 and Bean. Ollie and Gio are trying their hardest as Nader's having a bit of a tough time here for Viper. I do know that Ollie was looking for a dedicated sub for Viper. I don't know if Nader is the starting 5th, but he's looking like he's having some trouble here with Viper.
Yep. So, good games in general for a for a lot of players. Like you said, Nader not doing too hot, but everyone has their bad games. I do believe Nader's a sub as well. I'm not really sure. He could be a main roster player, but yeah, not performing too hot. Again, we all have our bad games. We're just gonna have to see if he's able to kind of pull it back for his team, as he is playing Legion, which is a role that really doesn't require fragging. He just needs to stay alive.
Right, and I'm not too sure why we haven't seen why we haven't seen Viper open up that lobby closet hatch, because if they play the pulse downstairs in cafeteria, he can get all the intel that he needs to be able to toss out a C4, and Seven's gonna get the frag onto Shisui. That's gonna be the IQ dead, and Seven's gonna be able to start off a hot round here for Viper, giving them the man advantage only 20 seconds into the round.
That's so unfortunate. That's your IQ too. That's a major. We've talked about Viper and Relentless both having an advantage on defense, but now a huge advantage for Viper, taking out an IQ. I mean, you just saved your Pulse, your Legion, your Echo. You just saved them. You gave them a deep breath. Huge operator down.
Right, and I'm just like I said before, like I was saying earlier in this round, that I'm curious as to why Geo hasn't or why Viper themselves haven't opened up the hatch and lobby closet, because Geo could be playing it a lot safer downstairs in the cafeteria, just giving out the calls to his teammates, letting his teammates know where the attackers are coming from. Good frag here from 7 onto Aoeah. That's going to be a C4 taking down the Thatcher, as Classic's going to get the frag onto 7. 7's reign of terror is going to be done here. Geo's going to get the frag onto Astro, shutting down the hot hand of Relentless, as Trader is going to get the frag onto Ollie. 3v2 situation with only half the round left to go here, leaving it all up to your Jackal with low HP and Trader within upstairs, trying to fight off the remaining defenders that are roaming upstairs.
Oh geez, a series of, like I said, a series of great frags here from both sides. I feel like Relentless, not only with disadvantage, but with the operators that they have, I definitely feel like the real advantage here goes to Viper if they're able to keep their operators safe and alive. And we do see a player sitting on the
It's gonna be Nader, actually. Nader playing on top of the spiral stairs here, just waiting patiently, trying to see if anyone's gonna push into connectors. Classic's going for some pre-fires down the long desk. Nader's gonna see the shots come out from the spiral stairs. He's just patiently waiting here, being very disciplined to not overpeak and try to get the greedy frag onto Classic, as Classic's making his way through the connector. Nader sees him and gets the frag onto Classic. 1v3 situation here for Trader within, with only 40 seconds left to go. It's all up to Trader to try to get all 3 frags onto Viper and try to potentially see if he can save the round for Relentless, but things aren't looking too hot as we're pulling down to the final 30 seconds. Trader within's going to make his way into the connector, waiting as Nader is waiting here, and he's going to step onto the Legion mine, and Bean's going to get the frag and win the map here for Viper on Consulate.
7-6, finally locking it out, and one was completely flipped on its head whenever the half switch. Viper being the better defenders in the end, and they will win out Relentless's map.
Right, and I think that Shisui could have prevented his death there had he either droned it out himself, or maybe had some backup with him, giving himself a drone from one of his teammates. But wow, look at that. Viper with 3 players dropping double digits, and Classic and Astro trying their hardest as best as they did, combining for a total of 29 frags. And honestly, it just wasn't enough to give Relentless the push that they needed to give Relentless the win.
Yeah, I mean, great games from Viper, doing absolutely amazing. And I'm really surprised that they were able to come back. I mean, they had a 4-1 deficit. That's really good there. So, in general, great games from both teams. It was a very close one. It wasn't just a complete sweep. That was a really close game. And going into Bank, you have to wonder how close it's going to be, as it's going to be Viper's terrain.
Right, and moving on into bank, I'm assuming I'm most likely going to be seeing. I'm not seeing. I'm mostly going to be hoping to see that we have a lion and a jackal band at least on attack. Those are my predictions. And defense, it's going to be obvious that Mirror is going to be banned, and I do see either Echo or Maestro getting banned here. Those are going to be my 4 predictions for the map ban for the operator bans on bank. And what do you think we're going to be seeing on bank, Jasmine?
Honestly, I don't disagree with anything that you just said there. Universal bans, bank-oriented bans. So we're going to take a quick break here as players are taking themselves a little break, and we're going to cut back to our map number 2 as soon as possible after this break.
There we go. Sorry about that, guys. The microphone was not working, but obviously, as you guys can see, that was definitely as close as we were expecting, and all of the players are going to be ready, I think, in like 30 seconds here, so we're going to be getting right back into this. But I just wanted to let you guys know that we are going to be getting right back into this, and that was probably as close as anybody was going to expect, as well as the fact that the poll has been changed, so the appropriate votes have been given to the appropriate team. So we are going to be starting here right away, and we're going to be going on to the map of Bank. So we will see you guys on Bank right now.
I don't think he knows what he said.
That's gonna be all right. Well, we'll just wait for right now. Obviously, I don't think he does, but he'll be back as soon as possible. But obviously, because
you're gonna cast with me? Oh,
for a little bit. But obviously, since we have some time here in the operator bands, and not really much goes on in these bands. Well, obviously, they're very important, but the fact that we can just kind of talk about last match. I mean, we saw a very, very nice comeback there as. We actually might have to go into a rehost as never mind. Are they going to play it out? I guess they will. So they are going to be playing it out. So I do apologize for that. But very just all around great play there from the entire blue team as Viper, as I unfortunately forgot to change the names up top. But God, I know, dude. I'm not used to this, but no, it was just really all around great play. And it's definitely exactly what we expected from these guys. I think maybe coming out when it was at 4-1, I was a little scared that this might be a kind of washed match where we're going to see just somebody take the cake, but obviously that was completely wrong, as the team that got the 4-1 was in the end the team that lost. So, I mean, Jasmine, looking at just how that has all changed and what they've done, what do you expect with now going on to bank here?
I mean, I don't want to say that because sometimes certain teams have certain maps where they'll do good on one side or the other. So I don't feel like the defense-oriented game is going to happen on a map like Bank. And now that we have Jackal off the board, Mira, Habana, and Maestro, interesting operators. But we're going to see what I think is that we're not going to see like that side favorite for either side, as we're going to see Viper will begin on the attack and Relentless on the defense. Bank being Viper's map, we'll just have to see if they play it out good.
Yeah, and something that I think is going to be very interesting to note is the fact we obviously see the Habana off of the board quite early, as she's going to be an operator that is banned. And with that ban, it's a very intelligent ban, especially on Bank. Bank is actually the map with the most trapdoors, which is very interesting. I think right behind it is going to be Consulate. So we didn't see the ban on Consulate, but the difference I think between Bank and Consulate is those trapdoors are so pivotal for almost every site on this map. So taking that Habana off the board, it allows the defense to kind of breathe a little bit easier, as they're going to have to consolidate their hard breachers and things like that. Yes, you have the Maverick put in the board now with the new update. He's like, I guess, another hard breacher, but he's not going to be doing the exact same job as a Habana and a Thermite, where those Habana and those Thermites can just create not only drop downs into the site, but they can create major lines of sight. So it's really just kind of I think it's really just a very intelligent ban from there, and it's something we will definitely see its effect take place in this match. But overall, I think, like you said, going on to this next map, and we saw how close the first map was, I'm expecting a lot more of the same.
Yeah, we're going to find out, because seeing Viper win Consulate is definitely scary for Relentless, considering it was their pick. But I feel like one problem that Viper really struggled on whenever it came to their attack was the fact that their control was so lackluster and so linear. You had all your team pushing in, and as I talked about on Consulate, the moment that Viper got control of one thing, they lost control of another, and it was just a domino effect from there.
Yes, absolutely. As we do see Classic already here in open area, as well with Adit is going to be just contested by, I think that's the Thermite trying to contest him, which is definitely a little questionable, but now he is smartly going to shy away from that gunfight and just kind of preserve his life, as Astro is able to get the first frag onto 7. That's going to be the IQ down, and we saw how pivotal that IQ was last map. Getting that as the first frag is huge for Astra, and because he is Doc, it's like nothing ever happened. And he's just going to stim himself back up to full health, and he's going to be perfectly fine, as well as the fact they don't have to worry about IQ not only taking down the Echo drones, the Echo drone, yes, the Echo drone, but also sometimes you do see smokes pre-place their smokes, and that would be detected as well. So just everybody can breathe happily, as Adit is well going to be getting a frag onto Ollie. That's going to be your Thermite down, so hard breacher off the board, as well as a huge utility off the board. It is not looking good for the attacking side of Viper right now.
Yeah, already losing their main hard set in Ollie Trader, who a god tier Echo player, alive and well, and Viper have yet to take control of even the open area. They have control of upstairs, but that's about it. They're nowhere else, as we do see Geo will drop, and immediately from Adit securing another one for himself, and Nader going to secure the opening frag for Viper onto Castle. A bit too late, as only a minute remains, and it's just a Castle. Not as good utility, as we will see Nader get extremely aggressive going down the Skylight stairwell. He will ring his second E1, or his first E1D rather, clear out the barbed wire and peek the window smartly here, trying to find the smoke, but will be unsuccessful as he makes his way into sight. Shisui, unaware, will finally take, light him up and know the location of him, as Bean will get a frag onto Adit, however, immediately refrag. And now it's all up to Nader. The underranked player, rather, on Consulate will get a shotgun to the face, make that 2, as Shisui will secure that round out. And a great round from Relentless, losing only 2 players, I believe. So in general, great plays there. Viper again with that linear control coming to bite them, literally.
Yeah, and
Snake bites himself. Or worse.
And I think something that is definitely questionable already with the not only the ban phase but just this map in general is why do we not see a lion off of the board, especially on Bank. Bank is one of those maps where roam game and roam clear is seriously what wins and what loses the map, and the fact that you're kind of letting that lion back into the pool while banning out a jackal is very questionable in my opinion, because yes, jackal was very, very annoying and very pesky last map, but he's not as annoying and not as pesky as a lion would be, and lion is just such an easy operator to use, and he's so impactful. So not seeing him not banned out, it's really good to see the attackers, I guess, capitalize on that, but it's really questionable to see both these teams let him through the ban phase, especially on a map of Bank, as Bank is just, again, it's very roam heavy game. It's literally could be the difference of losing and winning out a map. This map,
yeah,
my fault.
Yeah, Fabian must be breathing heavily right now, the fact that Lion isn't banned, but no, I completely agree. Bank is a map where you get rid of. Yes, Jackal could work out, but that's only if you have Lion off. Like whenever you have Lion off, it's kind of just like you going, all right, if you want to play that game, we'll just get rid of Jackal too, and completely remove that sort of I don't even know what to call it, honestly.
Yeah.
What would we call it? Because I would say one press man, but like Jackal's not that.
Yeah, I don't even think it like deserves a name really, but it's just
okay. So wait, for Lion we would have one press man.
Yeah.
For DokeBee we would have
another one press woman. It's just global operators that are terrible, basically, I think is the word we're looking for. But
yeah, exactly.
We are going to be seeing the drones come out here, and that's going to spot out, I think that is the Jaeger on open area. Yes, it is. So only one roamer in open area this time around, as we did see, again, how deadly the roam game was last round, as it got quite a few operators off the board quite early. Getting your hard breacher off the board was insane, as we are going to see Aoeah just trying to land a couple shots through that window, none of which are going to land, and is still going to hold his ground here and just waste the time of the Capitao and the Lion, as they are just sitting out here, just not really making any progress so far.
Yeah, we do see Geo from above. He's going to try and help out with his open area take, but I don't, like you said, there's no progress being made. Yeah, you have upstairs control, but on a map, I guess if you have roamers, that could be helpful. Oh. And we do have a roamer in Aoeah, and he will take down the Capitao. A lot of utility down, as one press man will begin using his gadget, and Aoeah just stuck inside. He's going to be flashing it out. Nader knows his exact location. He has to be careful, though. Aoeah will literally not get flashed at all. Fight barely keeping himself alive, 25 HP as a matter of fact. And we're going to have to see what happens from here, because now Viper has control of the cafeteria and open area a lot quicker than before, but they still have to go into server or wherever they decide, because Classic is going to be a huge detriment here. S7 will reset the Lion, and yeah, you have upstairs control, but what are you going to transfer that to? Opening up the hatches, great work so far, but we're just going to see how it works out.
Yeah, there really are. We saw this last match. Both of the teams actually kind of suffered from stalling out, as Nader is able to get another kill with that basically a vector type of gun there, as there's a major frag as well, taking that mute off the board. Obviously, his utility is going to be down, but just having that man advantage is huge, as we are going to be seeing Geo try to gain some control of that elevator drop down area as well. So we actually have found Classic find his way back near to this open area kitchen, I guess, portion of the map, and this could open up a very, very deadly flank, but I don't know if Nader is actually going to be expecting, as we are going to see Classic slowly walk in here, and this could easily be not even just probably 2 kills could come out here, but Aoeah is going to take a little bit too long, could potentially get the frag onto the line, but the call-out's going to be coming up from the drone, and somehow wins that gunfight. That was the most...
Oh my god. Insane. Holy... Nader is just able to just somehow save the round, as Geo's pushing his way through the site. 1v1 here with Classic currently up above the situation, as Geo's just dropping the diffuser. That's not the site, brother.
What?
You can't plant there. Oh no, Geo's just gonna have a little bit of a brain fart there and not be able to get the round, not even get the plant going for Viper.
What? What? What was that?
No, that's just the heat of the moment play, in my opinion. What do you
Yeah.
think,
All right,
guys?
we gotta get plant down. We're inside an elevator, right? I'm gonna go upstairs. I'm gonna. The elevator. We got this. We got this. I'm gonna clutch it.
And then he tries to make his way over to the vault. Oh no!
I think he was like, I don't know if he was playing like a battle royale game or something. He's trying to pick up ammo and then run into sight. I don't know why you would hold that button. I don't know what his plant button was, but I don't know why you would drop the diffuser in the middle of nowhere near sight. He had to go back and grab the diffuser because once you're on top of the diffuser, you can't just like pick it right back up. You have to kind of run away from it and then go right back
I don't
up.
understand that.
Yeah, and he only had 2 seconds to do so. So in general, like you said, I probably just a heat in the moment play, and unfortunately gonna lose that round out as Relentless are keeping up this defense heavy trend, winning 2 rounds in a row.
Right, and the last time that we saw this when I think it was Viper that was Viper attacking first last map, or were they defending first?
They were defending first. Or no, they were attacking first.
They were attacking first, yeah. So it's looking like a very similar situation as to what happened on Consulate, where Viper got off to a pretty slow start. But maybe Viper is just maybe that's the way that they work. They get off to a slow start, but then they start to pick up the pace, pick up some steam as the map drags on, as Relentless, for example, starts to get a little tired, starts to get a little fatigued, and Viper just takes advantage of their mistakes. But it was just very unfortunate for Geo to just be in that situation. I don't know if he just forgot that the site wasn't in the lobby and that he had to vault back through the window, but only time will tell.
Yep, 2-0 here for Relentless, and that must have been a huge heartbreaker for Viper to lose that out. But it's only their attack. Like we said, defense, what I predicted was that defense wouldn't be like it was on Consulate. It would be different on Bank, but I'm completely wrong. This is Viper's map, and here they are losing 2 rounds in a row on their offense. They have to change something, and it'll be CEO, the site of choice for Relentless. So that's just a little bit harder on Viper to go into one of the more unconventional sites. Your 2 main sites are probably Archives and Tellers, and then the CCTV lockers. But other than that, you don't really see a lot of teams going to Open Area or CEO unless they want to. And CEO has been seeing a lot more play. It might as well become the 3rd site of choice. And Open Area and Cafeteria has lost its mojo over time.
Right, as we're seeing, with a minute gone here, we're pushing into the first half gone of the round. Viper's currently making their way through to try to push over into these offices, try to make some pressure onto the site. But I don't know if if the Thermite's been able to get the wall open. Shisui is currently playing up here on the 2nd floor elevator. Viper has not droned him out. Nader's gonna spot him out. And this is a tough situation right now for Shisui to be in once he's droned out. Meanwhile, we're going to be seeing the Castle as Classic pushing his way through the lobby. He knows that there's an attacker in this lobby. He just doesn't know where exactly. As shots are going to come out here from Trader onto Bean. That's going to be the Thermite dead before he can even get the charge off. Coming up the Skylight stairs, is there's no one there to watch the flank. Very misfortunate timing here for Viper. And meanwhile, Gio's trying to get something going for him as 7 gets the frag onto Shisui. That's going to be the Valkyrie dead finally, as they do know that there's still a castle downstairs underneath the lobby. Meanwhile, 7 just barely misses him, and 7's going to lose the gunfight. As Classic is retreating his way down the lobby, Lionscan is going to come out here. It's the first one of the round. Nader tossing a frag as Ollie's pushing his way through the site while Gio has the diffuser. If Gio's able to make his way around here,
What?
7... Oh no! Gio's just going to lose the fight there as Ollie gets the trade. I don't know what Ollie was paying attention there for, but Classic is currently making his way up the stairs as Astro's going in for a pinch at the back. 2v3 situation with Classic on very low HP. Plant's going down for Nader as the diffuser does go down here with Ollie on very low HP. Second line scan's coming out here, and Astro is going to get the frag onto Nader, leaving Ollie in a 1v3 situation to try to get this diffuser covered. And he does have to be aware of 2 different angles. His shot's going to come out here on the wall. Doesn't know where the attackers are. Gets the frag here, and the team kill from Audit onto Trader. Very misfortunate misfire there. As Ollie is going to try to use these Mavericks to his advantage. Classic's going to miss his shots. Ollie makes his way back into the server. And Classic gets the fragger onto Ollie to give Relentless the round here, going up 3-0 yet again. It's looking like a repeat from Consulate.
Actually tagging the toe there. If he would have put more shots in that location, he would have killed the diffuser. That was so unlucky there. But, I mean, Relentless kind of won that round since the start. They had so many good frags on their side as well as a lot of control. And what I was super confused about was why Ollie didn't drone behind the desk and just walked in with no intel whatsoever. And his teammate died as a cost of that. I mean, you have to drone stuff out like that. Geo could have been alive at that point if you would have just seen that there was a rook. I don't know if it was a rook or it was a rook. If you would have just seen the rook behind that desk, that could have been way different, but you didn't. You just walked in, no intel whatsoever, blind as a bat. And it costed them in the end. It lowered down a lot of their players and killed off one of them too. So I feel like just a lot of improper drone work and not enough coordination.
Right, and not only that, they also just didn't have anyone flank watching from the skylight stairs, which needs to be there at all times, no matter what, especially given that your thermite is there. That was a very big impact frag for Astro to get the frag onto Bean before Bean was able to start the explosion.
Yeah, so now the site of choice for Relentless will be the archives and tellers. Again, one of your more common sites. One of your secondary, or not one of your primary bomb sites. Castle on Classic. I mean, Classic has been running a lot of Castle as opposed to when he was kind of just playing that frag. Actually, I don't know if Classic was actually playing frag or on console. Rather, he was just doing good with support. But Castle is super useful on a map like Bank where you can take control of hallways and there's a lot of open spaces. So seeing Castle being brought out, not too surprising on the end of Relentless. And I feel like Castle should be talked about because Castle's in one of the weirdest positions. He's one of those operators that people think should be nerfed, but then you see teams running him super well. He's an op really built for competitive, not as much ranked or casual, but
right. I think I'm gonna have to disagree with you a little bit on here. That I do
whoa!
think
Whoa! Hold on.
Castle is a situational operator. He's not necessary for every site and for every map. On Bank, he's very strong, given that for one, he has the impact holes to make the rotation from the site into open area, as we also see a Castle barricade right there on the double doorway leading into cafeteria. He's able to make the defenders have some more breathing room for when the attackers try to make their push. And he's also able to give the defenders a lot of versatility. As Addit's finally able to spot that drone that's underneath the desk. A 7 is making his way through the lobby, trying to see if he can get a peek on the one at the bottom of the stairs. And that's currently going to be the Echo of Trader, just trying to go for a very aggressive peek, as Addit is trying to get some trade potential here, hiding in an open area.
Yeah, so we do see a lot of control coming out here from Viper, and we see 7 rushing in here as Bean will be able to get the opening frag onto Astra, and a great kill there. And 7 is just one frag. Yeah, Addit will get a refrag, however.
Oh no, 7's almost going to lose that gunfight. Meanwhile, Addit gets the trade 3v3 situation here with just under a little bit of the half gone underway, as Bean is currently trying to wait for Addit to come around and peek. Addit is just going to be a little disciplined here, hiding in the open areas. He's going to peek around, and Bean gets the frag onto Addit. Unlucky timing there for Addit. It's all up to Shisui and Classic. Classic currently hiding upstairs, waiting for just a moment to strike, as he's going to abuse the silent drop here yet again. Game-breaking mechanic, in my opinion, but there's nothing you can do about that until Ubisoft fixes it. First line scan's going to come out here, as Classic's going to get the frag onto Nader, and they know where his exact location is. Meanwhile, this wall is reinforced at the loan office, so they can't shoot through it. I think that's a very good pick. Decision, as Classic's gonna get the second frag, and Shisui's gonna be able to get the final frag onto Ollie, giving them a 4-0 lead on Viper's map pick, Bank.
So it seems like I was wrong in my prediction. Maybe it could just be Relentless for having an amazing Bank map, or it could be that this is defender side. We're gonna see whenever Viper goes onto their defense if I was wrong at the very beginning. But so far, Relentless are just destroying on this defense. No matter what site they are taken to, they will win it out. And now they're going into the most preferred bomb site of lockers and CCTV. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's really a huge advantage.
Right.
It's really a huge advantage so far for my mic keeps
Yeah.
cutting out. I hate this
No,
mic so much.
you're fine, Jasmine. So moving on to round 5 here. I was also surprised to see that Lion wasn't banned. And given that Lion isn't banned and Viper's trying to use him to their full potential, Viper just can't seem to catch a break here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like what is kind of the decider is what side you're on, because Viper are so slow. They come in and they walk together as individuals, and they just take control whatever they want to. They lose control, and they just don't care. They're
Right.
playing very reckless, very sloppy. They're not playing coordinated as much as they will be on defense, but that's just a problem. And they're not bringing the right utility for the job. I mean, you have Thermite on the downstairs site, but you don't have somebody that can help out with that. Like, for example, a Glaz or a Blackbeard to kind of, or actually, wait, is Blackbeard banned by chance? I'm not sure. Glaz or Black? No, they're not. So
No, he's
you're not.
not. Neither of them are banned.
Yeah, so you're not bringing a
Tabana
Glaz.
and Jackal.
Yeah, you're not bringing a Glaz that's super useful on a site like that, on a map like Bank, which is so detrimental. I mean, that can help out so. We see a lot of universal. We see a lot of what do they call that?
A lot of universal place as actually Relentless is just having a very heavy utility based defense on the blue stairs. They're going to be fighting for those blue stairs with as much utility as they can, given that there's all 3 magpies there from Jaeger, as well as an Alamine and a deployable shield. And as REDCUBE just can't seem to see the intel there from the spectator cam, the third person camera view, but meanwhile Classic is trying his best to hold onto these blue stairs and try to catch Viper off guard here.
Yep, so they will be taking control again of this cafeteria, but they're going to have Addit there. No drone whatsoever.
Oh,
No drone work whatsoever, and Addit will easily secure that frag. They need to be droning in. This is a major problem for Viper. This coordination in general so lackluster. No drone work at all. If we reflect back on the CEO, back whenever Rook was behind the desk, there's no drone work whatsoever. We will see Nader just running into the electrical room, trying to find the Elo, which will back all the way off. As we see Bean beginning to open up the hatch, and nobody.
Gio's getting the frag onto Addit. It's the Jaeger dead upstairs. As unfortunately Jazzman's mic keeps cutting out here, which is very unfortunate. As I'm surprised that no one from Viper rotated around from the front to go into the sewer to try to pinch onto Classic, as they pinch from not only just the sewer, but they can also pinch him from the stairs. As all 3 ADSs are going to be used to their potential, and Classic knows that they're going to be trying a heavy push here with 3 attackers currently over here in the skylight stairwell. Meanwhile, Seven's going to be opening up the hatch here. Lion Scan's going to be coming out. Seven's just waiting for the time to strike. Meanwhile, Zophiel Mines are going to be cutting off his line of sight, and Classic's not even going to be able to fire as Nader just shreds right through him. There's currently nobody playing behind the server, but Nader just doesn't want to take any chances here. And Viper cannot walk away here, going down 0-5. As they're not even in a drone, and Astro Road's not even paying attention. Gio's gonna get the frag onto Astro, as Trader Within's gonna get the frag onto Bean from a very tight angle, playing all the way in the lockers. It's all to just see Shisui and Trader with the second Lion Scan coming out here. Trader Within is going to be in a very tight spot as he's going to miss his shots onto Nader, as Nader's going to get the defuse down. Never mind, he's going to get the frag onto Shisui. Meanwhile, Gio is going to get the cleanup frag here onto Trader, giving Viper the round that they need to not be shut out here on Bank. As Jazzman is currently trying to go for some mic fixes. He's going to be fixing his mic for a little bit, so I'm going to be going solo unless Red wants to join me for a little bit. Be much appreciated. We're going to be seeing change of sides here as Viper's moving on over to the defense side and Relentless moves over to the attack, as we see Viper moving to the lockers and CCTV, Seven playing on that Pulse and being back on that Echo with Ollie on the Jaeger and Nader on the Smoke. Gio's going to be given the pick of the clasher from Yubi, as he wasn't able to pick his operator in time. As we see, and meanwhile we see Shisui here on the Ash, Addit on Thatcher, Classic on Capito, Astro on IQ, Trader on that Thermite, and Gio's gonna 6-pick away from the Clash to the Aoeah. And so far, this has been all Relentless up until that final round.
As I'm just going to quickly fill in here for Jasmine, as he's having a couple issues, but they should be sorted out fairly quickly. But like you said, seeing kind of a very similar way the last map went here, as kind of coming out to a very hot start, as we are going to be seeing Relentless doing. But obviously the end of that map wasn't at all what reflected the beginning, because we saw this 4-1 start, exact same scoreline. It obviously got to that scoreline a little bit differently, but it's still the exact same scoreline nonetheless. And in the end, we still saw Viper come out with the win. And I think when Viper is kind of pinned up against the wall and put into a corner, that might be when they play their best. And I say this a lot, but when you put a dog into a corner, that's when it's going to bite. And I think that's kind of what we see here from Viper. They are backed into a spot where not really anything is going for them. And really, it just is looking really, really good right now for Relentless. This is when they kind of start to shine, because it's all risk, no reward type of play, and that's when you kind of see very aggressive, very kind of out of this world playing, and it's what wins games most of the time. So potentially, we might see Viper do that style of play once again that we saw the last map, that kind of got them back into that map. But we could easily see maybe that change out as Astro is able to get the first kill onto Bean. That's going to be the Echo down. That is a lot of utility off the board quite early on.
That was very unfortunate here for Viper. I'm not too sure why Bean was being aggressive here. As Relentless is currently making a push here through the garage, as Seven's barely going to dodge a bullet coming from the attackers in garage. As we see Classic trying to get some information going out here, as Seven's waiting for the drone to pass, but he's gonna miss the drone. And with the first minute going down, he's still gonna miss this drone here. Very unfortunate timing, very unfortunate for your Seven, as Nader's trying to back him up. Meanwhile, Gio gets the frag onto Shisui, but he's gonna get immediately traded by Trader. Ollie going for a flank here up on the blue stairs, as he's going to get the frag onto Addit. Very good frag here for Ollie. That is going to be the Zofia dead. Meanwhile, Nader gets the frag onto Classic, and Seven's going to get the frag onto Astro. It's all up to the Thermite, with Trader getting the trade here onto Seven. 2v1 situation for Trader.
And if I'm not mistaken, right now Trader has to ace in order to clutch this round, because I'm pretty sure he has gotten all 3 kills. I'm not 100% positive on that, but I'm pretty sure. But we are going to be seeing Trader nonetheless go through this open area staff room, try to go back down those blue stairs. But this is a situation you really favor the defense in right now, because Thermite, he has a decent gun, but his utility in clutch situations is not helpful at all. It's not like a Zofia where you can kind of push really quickly. It's not like a Yin where you can push really quickly. It just kind of opens up really hard walls, and that's not really helpful when you have to clutch out a round.
So this Trader is just being a little Trader is just being a little cautious here, waiting for a potential flank to come up from Ollie. But Ollie's going to be playing it safe here, playing disciplined. As Trader's helping up both of the open area hatches. With 30 seconds left to go, he's going to make his way down the main stairs, as Nader is currently playing down below the stairs. And Nader's going to get the shotgun frag onto Trader, giving Viper a 2-4 map round count.
And something that's very interesting, actually, is whole last match, we didn't say Nader's name at all, really. He was kind of in the back picture. He was on the back burner and wasn't really in the moment for his team, and he wasn't really playing that well. Nonetheless, as I say nonetheless once again, but we did see Viper come out with the win. But the difference here is Nader is playing extremely well, and it seems like every single round he is the one to make that important play to set his team apart and win the round. And obviously they have only won 2 rounds, but that's still a lot more than 0. And I think Nader is definitely kind of coming out of his, I guess, shell a little bit here and playing very well, as like we did mention before, he is actually one of their subs, and they are actively looking for a 5th. But I think right now what we're seeing from Nader on Bank, he could really take that 5th spot and run with it, because he's playing extremely well right now.
Right, and Nader has just been on a roll here on Bank. Maybe Consulate isn't his map. Maybe he's more comfortable on Bank. But from what we've seen here, you and I, we can definitely agree that Nader has seen a shift in his momentum, going from just dropping 4 frags in an entire 12 rounds to dropping 7 so far within the first 6 rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. As I also do apologize, guys, if my mic sounds a little bit weird. I did change my settings quite a bit. I am going to be actively fixing that, but I think it should be okay. I'm gonna be sure to let me know in potentially the Discord or on Twitch to just tell me that maybe they just doesn't sound correctly or things like that. But you're going to be seen going to this archives offices hold. There was the question with Bank is it's kind of evolved, I think, a little bit more than a lot of people have expected from a map that was available at launch, because a lot of the sites, some are good, some are bad here this week, and then the next week they change off, and some people like this site a little bit more and things like that. So Bank is one of those maps where I actually feel, people can disagree with me, but I actually feel Bank is one of those maps where almost every site is quite viable. It's not viable in the sense that it's not like a Oregon downstairs, but it's viable in the sense that you can still play it. As Shisui is able to get the first frag that's going to be onto the Jaeger. So Nader, the person we were talking about so much, is going to be going down to the Zofia.
Meanwhile, Seven's going to try to get a early pick onto the Thermite on the skylight, but he's going to miss his shots as he's only down to about 2 mags. Very interesting here, but I think he was trying to open up the rest of that wall for his team, given that they didn't have any shotguns to work with. With only 2 minutes left to go, it's going to be a little tough here for Seven to try to win some gunfights. And if he does win his gunfights, he's going to need to be very accurate and hit those headshots.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to be seeing the Lion slowly push down his. Shisui is able to get another kill, and that's going to be on to 7. And again, this is 1 round away from match point and down 2 players already. It is not looking good for Viper, as just Shisui on that Zofia is becoming an absolute menace, and the first Lion is going to be coming out. I think, yes, it is the first Lion. That's going to be the first one, trying to just expedite that roam clear just a little bit more. But as of right now, really the only person roaming is going to be Ali, who finds himself in staff room. You could kind of call this an offsite anchor, as it is very close to the site, but he definitely could perform a quite considerable late game flank here that could turn things around.
Alright, and Ollie has been showing up a little bit in this series, as currently 2 minutes have gone past here. Bean is in a little bit of a precarious spot with holes all around him. Ollie's trying to just kill as much time as he can, but I think he can possibly try to go for a flank, maybe through the lobby, and try to go up the stairs, as Bean's shooting through the floor up above, trying to get some shots into Classic, as he's currently sitting at around 30 HP. And Adit's currently looking into the site, waiting to see if he can get some frags. Second Lion scan is going to pop out here. With 40 seconds left to go, we're going to see Astro trying to contest Ollie inside of this open area, as Ollie is very hurt. Meanwhile, Ollie gets the frag onto Trader. Very good frag here from Ollie to get that Thermite down. Meanwhile, Ollie's going to get traded here by Shisui with his 4th frag on the day. Of the round, I'm sorry. With Geo getting the frag onto Adit. It's currently a 2v3 situation with 15 seconds left to go, as Bean is going to get the frag onto Astro. Meanwhile, Geo is trying to back up his team. This is the diffuser down. Geo gets the frag onto Classic with 6 seconds left to go. It's all up to Shisui and the potential ace. He's going to get the frag onto Geo. All Geo has to do is hide. I'm sorry. All Bean had to do is hide. And wow, just like that, with whoever died in open area, just gave the round away for Relentless to put it on match point.
Yep, absolutely. Very, very close call there, and somehow just preventing it a little bit more. But Jasmine, I'm pretty sure, has fixed his mic, so he is going to slither his way back into this one, if I am not mistaken.
Not true. Didn't fix my mic. Just use the same one. But
he's a lot more quieter.
I'm gonna be tinkering with.
So, he's gonna be messing around with some audio settings and just very frustrated here.
I'm about to throw this
unfortunate,
mic through like a
unfortunate situation for Jasmine, as we're seeing Viper making their way up to the executive and office lounge, and surprisingly, they're not going to be taking any operator with an ACOG here.
Is it better now?
Still quiet, but I'm just curious as to why they're not taking anyone with an ACOG. I get the Valkyrie, I get them in the castle. But Unless you're playing really aggressive and trying to go for some really early peaks, I would feel a lot more comfortable if Viper would be taking an ACOG, especially on a round that could lead to a potential match point again for Relentless.
Yeah, something like a Rook or an Echo, I would totally agree. And also, I think I found the problem to my microphone issue. Turns out that if I look on the front, where I have a Blue Yeti, by the way, I don't recommend, but if you, it's one directional, comes out from the front. Turns out there's a massive dent right on this, right on the front of it. So I mean, that could be my issue. I switched around the mic settings to make it way better. I'm not sure if it's. I don't mind if it's quieter. I just don't
If
want it to
you
cut out,
use the setting that's got the heart on it and turn the mic 180 degrees to the back, like where you see the settings, and you talk that way, you can still. I don't think you should have too many issues, as your voice would be projecting from to the back of the mic. Because I used to have a Blue Yeti as well.
Yeah, I used to have the heart, but now I'm using the circle, and it seems like it's working out. Am I quieter?
You just need to turn up your gain, probably, or raise your volume on the input.
Is this too much?
But 30 seconds have passed here onto the round, and so far we're just awaiting Geo to see if he can try to get some early picks, as the attackers are going to be trying to make their way into the stocks room, currently droning everything out here. And Geo trying to see if he can get some early picks on, as he has a Valkyrie camera set up right now in the skylight stairwell, waiting for these attackers to come through. As we're going to be seeing Trader Within currently rappelling up to the balcony. Classic makes his way into the stock room, and Shisui's just gonna be unloading a lot of bullets from the sky stairwell over by the main entrance, by the main stairs.
Yeah, and right now it's just kind of one of those secondary prep phase rounds here from Relentless, but they will begin executing their attack. First E1D is going to come out, but not going to be used all that often, or all that much, as Trader is going to begin opening up the northern wall of the CEO office. And the main problem that he has is that impact nade, and it won't work out in the end. The wall opened up, so already a lot of control so far for Relentless. So we're just going to have to see how they use.
Oh,
that.
what a shot!
Series of frags here.
What a shot here from Geo, as he's gonna get the frag onto Trader. Only one thermite halt open, as he's gonna be currently getting spotted out here. And surprisingly, there's not gonna be any shots coming through the wall, as Geo's getting the down onto Astro. Very unfortunate. Oh my goodness, what is happening here? Is Geo's gonna go down and get fragged out by Shisui. Classic's gonna be picking up Astro, and Geo was just in a predicament to die there as soon as he downed Astro. With 55 seconds left to go, Geo has wasted plenty of time for these attackers. And with the thermite dead, they only have the far north wall open. Currently, Ollie is playing on these main stairs, as Adit's going to get off his drone and not spot out Ollie, as Beans coming over to support Ollie from the janitor closet. Kings are coming out here, and Beans going to get the frag onto Astro. No more lion scans for Relentless, as Classic is going to get the frag onto Nader. 2v3 situation in favor of Relentless, with I believe with Audit on very low HP. Ollie gets the frag onto Audit. 1v2 situation currently for Bean on very low HP. Shisui and Elysian Mine, and Bean gets the frag onto Shisui. Last person alive is going to be Classic and Bean gets the frag onto Classic in the janitor closet, giving them a 4-4 even round count here between Viper and Relentless on bank.
Bean is absolutely nuts, and Viper, they'll come back. They are clawing their way back.
7.
And it's no more Mr. Nice Bean. I mean, he's right. He's right as well, because now it's a 4-4 advantage. Something that we might as well bite our tongues at this point. This has happened before. However, the only difference being, right now it would be 5-3. But nonetheless, it's different. Viper could potentially lock out their second map if they keep on playing the way that they have been. Relentless are just having a hard time against them.
Right. And Viper once again just looking very strong as the map progresses. And this was very evident to how they were on Consulate, where they were just down 2-4 compared to Bank, where they were down 1-4, and just getting 3 rounds in a row here is just absolutely astonishing for me. And I believe that Relentless has got to be kicking themselves right now, that they're very frustrated, knowing that they've given up 3 rounds against Viper. They only needed 2 more rounds to close it out, and yet we're deadlocked here at 4-4.
Right. So they're going to be going downstairs, which is the most preferable bomb site on this map, especially because of the fact that it's a downstairs bomb site, which means you can't really have people tearing up under above you or sorry, underneath you, and it's just such a good site for it's a I don't know how to explain it. It's a heavy control site. If you have control of the more that you have control of, and the more kind of I wouldn't say spaced out and stretched out you are, but the more that you have players close, the more offsite anchors you have, the better, because it's one of those sites where you have layers on top of layers to get through to get that plant off. I mean, you have to go through server, and above you there could be like if you're going for a normal plant onto a server or on the CCTV, you'd have to open up the server wall. You'd have to get control up top to make sure that the hatch isn't destroyed, and you have people peeking above you, blue stairs. But what I feel like a lot of teams don't do is go for a vault push. The main reason being is that it's so easy to just gun people down whenever they come in through vault. It's just a massacre whenever you see an army of people rushing through. Because in most cases, whenever you have a vault push, it's not a push, it's a rush. And that's kind of the main problem. That's why you see CCTV really heavily favored on this map, because it's just that one push that really matters. But it's not what's happening so far. As we see Astro, the drone work is insane. As we just see him running through, and he's going to make his way over to Skylight. And this is where the first encounter comes. That Pulse sitting on blue stairs. The camera will get shot out, and 7 is going to get extremely aggressive. Claymore will go down, however, so he can't get too aggressive. He's just going to have to hold his ground as a very nice pre-play C4. He's actually going to trying to use that to destroy the Claymore. Will not work out. He will instead shoot his own C4, and Astro will just back off as he has got him deadlocked.
Right, and I'm just very curious as to seeing like why none of these teams have gone through the sewers to try to make a pinch here, where they know that there's nobody playing in server. At least I hope at least you'd think that they would know that they're not playing in server. Meanwhile, 7's getting some very unfortunate timing as he's putting away his scanner. Classic's gonna get the frag onto 7, and Astro's gonna get the frag onto Geo. I don't think there was a good communication that there was a Claymore behind that shield. First line scan's gonna come out, and Astro's gonna get fragged. And wow, he's gonna hit the headshot onto Nader. 1v4 situation here for Bean. And things are not looking good for Viper right now, as Diffuser still has yet to go down. But there's 58 seconds that Bean has to work with, and that's a lot of time for these attackers to make a dream work. And Addict's gonna get the frag onto Bean, giving Relentless their first lead in the last 5 rounds. Or no, I'm sorry, their first round win within the last 5 rounds.
Finally here, and we're seeing Viper in the same place that they were on Cons. They were one map down, or they were 1 round away. Relentless were 1 round away from locking it out, but Viper won that map. So you have to wonder if the same thing is going to happen and Viper are going to be able to storm back, because they're in a really unfavorable position now. But the way that this map has been played out, I can't really call it quits yet, because Viper have been so consistent on their defense. But finally, Relentless will break that consistency once and only once. So, site of choice will be lockers and CCTV once again. Again, your most common bomb site. I feel like it's a bit. I feel like you should probably switch it up if you lost it the first time, especially when you're in this position. But it could just be them not wanting to play risky. In the end, we'll just have to see how they play it out, as it'll be the last site if Viper are unable to hold on.
Yeah. Moving on to round number 10 here. It's match point once again for Relentless, but it's currently at 5-4 compared to how it was last map at 5-3, where Viper was just able to just claw their way through those last 2 rounds and just persevere through Relentless's defenses, or I'm sorry, through their attacks. And honestly, my MVP for this match has probably got to be 7. 7's just been absolutely phenomenal throughout Viper's well, not on this map, of course, but last map Viper was just the exceptional MVP player, but this map Geo has been insane. And honestly, I have to give credit to Astro and Classic as well. I believe those 2 are going to be my MVPs for this series on Relentless's side. And what do you think that the MVP should be?
The way that G Suite played on Consulate with that Pulse, sets him apart from really anybody else. But that all came down to one foundational player, and I feel like that's Trader. He's been playing the best support really all this match. Taking the role of Hard Breacher is a very boring thing to do. It's not really something lots of players enjoy. And Echo as well. I mean, Echo. I mean, I like to play Echo personally, but I don't know.
Alright, this
Taking
Classic's
support
gonna
up.
currently joining out 7 is 7 making his way back down to the site. Ollie with the C4 onto Audit. That's gonna be the Thatcher down. But meanwhile, it looks like I don't know why 7 is playing Alibi when he could be playing Bandit and denying the Thermite from getting those the exothermic walls. But it looks like he's playing on the blue stairs here with Ollie as Geo's getting the drone there in the site. Classic finally making his way into the building after half the round has been lost. Aster trying to go for some pre-fires through the wall here onto Nader. Meanwhile, Ollie and 7 are still playing on those blue stairs, trying to get some information and get some frags here for 7. As Astro's going to be playing a little safe here. Classic's going to get the frag onto Ollie. 7 ditches him and he's going to die on the blue stairs. I don't know if there was a lack of communication that 7 was retreating back to site, but Ollie is just caught with his pants down. And Astro's making his way back down these blue stairs with only 1:10 left to go, as the hatch has been opened, and Trader still has yet to open up the wall here.
Yep, they do have the control of the stairs, but like I said, they have to make good control. They have to make good use of it. Drones will come out, so Relentless can safely wander their way in. Problem is getting that wall open. It's going to be a tough task, especially when you have the C4 of the Valkyrie and the smoke grenades of the smoke, as 7 gets a frag onto Astro World from behind the bomb. And he's going to begin getting extremely aggressive here. He's going to try and find the thermite, but will not in time. Classic will save his life and will get the wall open in the end. Now comes part 2. The last layer is getting that plant down. C4s and Toxic Babes are going to be in your way as Trader will begin planting. One will go down. The gas-formed chicken broth will begin coming out here, and you still have the C4 of the Valkyrie. Geo sitting right behind the desk. He can make great usage here as Trader's just gonna rush in, and he could meet the crosshairs of the Valkyrie. Geo's still there. He doesn't know though, and nobody knows he's gonna be revealed in the shot of smoke. But Geo will take off his head, and however he will get redeemed. But G-Sweet will clutch it out. The man is insane, and he will put Relentless on map number 3. What should have been a win there. Geo not able to find that thermite, and Relentless will win it. Viper will have to go onto map number 3 when they shouldn't have.
That, to me, was probably one of the craziest rounds we've seen this season, as Astro is going to be currently volunteering to sub out for another teammate on Relentless. And honestly, that was probably one of the craziest last 10 seconds of a round that I've ever seen. And Geo getting the first 2 kills onto the thermite and the Capital, almost being able to land his shots onto Astro. Unfortunately, not being able to bring it to overtime, but what an effort from Geo. And I think Nader just got into his crosshair at the wrong time when he should have been watching the doorway instead of pushing through the site, watching for Geo's cover. But maybe it was a lack of communication there. I'm not too sure. But Space Blunts will be what's it called? He will be subbing in for Astroworld, and we're going to be taking about a 3 to 4 minute break here to give the players a little bit of rest and to give the casters some time to breathe. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to map number 3 here between Viper and Relentless. We're moving on to Oregon. And honestly, this series has been one heck of a barn burner. Oh my god. Both of these teams have been insane going up against each other. As we see Viper going for the first ban here. They're going to be banning Lion. Pretty typical ban coming out from many comp teams playing on Oregon. Lion's not a very fun operator to deal with if you're playing on defense first.
Yeah, overall universal ban. I don't really think there's much surprise to see him ban, especially on a map like Oregon. Glaz is very powerful whenever it comes to this map in general, mainly due to your kids' dorms and dorms main hall, as well as your downstairs sites. Glaz can really reign supreme if you have him alive, mainly due to the fact that he has these angles that most would consider not to peak, and he just makes them better for himself. Next ban as well for the defenders will be on the side of Relentless. That'll be Mira. I don't really think anybody is surprised about this. Mira ban on Oregon is probably the most commonly banned. I believe Mira is probably the most commonly banned operator on Oregon, just due to the fact of how many strategies surround Mira on this map. Echo, also not surprising, off by Viper, most likely a target ban, a trader who has been proving himself as an absolute god on Echo, as well as the fact that this is Oregon, which is where Echo can also do really well, because he is able to put himself in a safe position while using his drone. Not so much on other maps where he's kind of exposed if he wants to stay near sight. So Echo, very powerful, and in general, not really related to the map, not too related to the map, mainly just a ban against Trader. So we will see double hard breacher though, because of your line and your Glaz ban. Hibana and Thermite, just to be sure, because you can do a lot of things with a Hibana separate from a Thermite. For example, if you want to go push construction, you're probably going to want a Thermite over Hibana. If you want to open up the hatches, you're going to want a Hibana over Thermite. But my points will be nullified, as it'll be Cavitao instead. And a Clash from Ollie. Clash has been completely flipped on her head. She's basically become useless at this point, unless you have coordination. So I mean, not too sure why we're seeing Clash, because she's not as dominant as she used to be by herself, which is where most teams would play, which is where most players would play her, kind of just help out roamers. But now you have to include teamwork, otherwise she's practically useless at some scenarios. You really want to be long range from another player, but in a game like Rainbow Six, in a map like Oregon, that simply just isn't possible. So we said downstairs, the site of choice, bringing in a Maestro, so powerful on a map like Oregon, especially on this bomb site for denying plant, and that'll be Bean to play him. And we know Bean is kind of an aggressive support player, and Maestro is one of those operators where you cannot be aggressive, as we will see him all the way in meeting room, which is, I'm not sure if he's just rotating around cam or something, or if he's just literally just doing laps around the map. I guess that's fine, working out his knees a little bit, because he's going to be sitting through the rest of the round. You don't want to get knee problems, I guess. But nonetheless, we see 7 on the way upstairs as well. Not too surprising, you definitely want to have your heavy room if you don't have an offside anchor, for example, on the meeting room hatch, and we see, or on meeting room, and we also see Geo there. So heavy room game inside of Armory, and that's going to be something that Viper have to deal, or Relentless have to deal with.
Right. Moving on into the first 45 seconds of the round of the map here. Aoeah is currently making his way from the junkyard through small tower, and he's currently making his way up the white stairs to see if he can try to catch this defender that's playing upstairs off guard. Tracks are going to come out here, and he's going to currently be tracking 7. Was previously playing in classroom, has now rotated his way back down the site, and Ollie will be there to meet any attackers that try to come and stop him. Meanwhile, Ollie is still trying to contest these, try to contest any of the attackers that may be coming, as he is aware that there may be an attacker trying to go for some explosives, some peek holes, which is exactly what we're going to be seeing here from Aoeah. This Classic's going to be using the peek hole, and 7's currently trying to give some covering fire for Ollie through those holes. Ollie on that Clash is not going to be able to be penetrated through that shield. Just we Attic currently trying to get some peeks over through the attic. And Ollie's going to be getting flamed here. Dropping to very low HP. Good idea from Classic. As Ollie is going to be needing a reset here through the wall. With only a minute left to go here. Looks like Gio's going to be missing a ton of shots here onto Ollie's leg. And
How do you expect to
So-
shoot enemies if you can't? Wow, my mic!
I don't know, man. But Seven's currently going for a flank here. The attackers are not aware of his presence currently in the meeting hall. As he's going to be peeking over to lobby. He's going to get the 2K here. And meanwhile, I believe that's Space Blunt is going to get the frag onto 7. Giving it a 4-3 advantage. Man count for Viper with only 30 seconds left to go. Ollie's currently making his second push as wow. Bean's going to get the 2 frags here. And Ollie's going to get the last final frag onto Space Blunts.
Game-winning play there, or round-winning play there. Secure a
Yeah.
double kill onto both the diffuser and a player trying to protect the diffuser. So absolutely amazing there. I would want to say the MVP. You know, I'm gonna do something about this mic. I'm actually going to I give up. I'm done. I give up. I don't know what to do.
He gives up. He's packing his bags and going home.
I'm gonna plug in like an Xbox 360 mic. Honestly, I don't know what to do.
Very unfortunate as Jazzman does have a scuffed blue Yeti. We're gonna be moving on to round number 2 here, as Viper was able to finally secure the first opening round on a map in this series. And Viper played that pretty well. Bean was able to push in through the smoke, catching the attackers off guard, getting not just the planter but also his supporter within the crossfire. And then Ollie was able to get the final frag onto Space Blunt, who was playing above hatch, waiting for anyone to peek out through underneath. Moving on into round number 2. I'd love if Fred would come out and help me cast with this match, for at least while Jazzman is able to get his mic set up here. I'll probably be back for the next round. As Viper has won downstairs in the laundry, they're gonna make their way over to the kids' dorms room.
All right, so I am going to, sorry about that, but I'm going to just hop in for just a little bit because Jasmine obviously having some issues with his Blue Yeti mic, so we are just gonna quickly do a nice crisp transition here. And obviously, so onto the map 3 here, this is where you start questioning the player's endurance. And this is kind of where you see maybe some mistakes we weren't really seeing almost the entire series start kind of coming out here. As well as the fact, that's a very interesting Legion mine, but as well as the fact that there's also a sub coming in for this side of Relentless, and obviously Space Blunts is an incredibly good player, but just losing out Astro, who was, I think, one of the best players so far in this entire series, that's a major blow in the back of the head for this Relentless side. So it's going to take a lot for, it's going to take a lot to fill the shoes of Astro, but I think Space Blunts will do, if not a better job, but probably just be able to kind of get to the same bar as what Astro is at, because I think they kind of play the same role, and it's going to be good to see him maybe get some playing time and maybe prove himself here. But again, then the question could be, maybe he completely chokes it, and not having Astro could be the difference of winning and losing this one out.
Right, and I did see that Added did lose a little bit of health. I think he might have gotten peeked from the classroom window, as scans are going to be coming out here onto the Jaeger, I believe that is. As Added's currently making his way, and to the roof, as Nader's trying to keep control of these kids' dorms as best as he can. Meanwhile, Ollie's playing in the attic here, and I don't think that Relentless knows that he's in there. Ollie could have gone for a peek through those windows, but Added is currently standing directly above Ollie. And Seven's gonna get the frag here onto Space Blunts. That's the Thatcher dead. And meanwhile, Seven in a very unlucky timing as Trader Within is gonna peek out and get the headshot onto Seven. Meanwhile, Classic is trying to get some shots here, but if he times this just right, and he will, it looks like Gio's gonna get that frag here onto Classic. That means no more smoke arrows, no more fire bolts, and it's all up to just a low Jackal and the remaining Shisui and Trader. As he's gonna hop in through the armory window. Added's making his way to try to cover Trader Within, as he's gonna be tracking Geo here inside of the armory. With the last ping finally coming out here. I think Geo can finally try to make a rotation through the hallway, but it doesn't look like it's going to be happening anytime soon, as the bullets are penetrating this wall and they're going to be opening up lines of sight here.
As we are down to the last 30 seconds here, and Aoeah, still being pinched, is actually doing a great job here. Yes, she might die, but look at all of the time she is wasting. So much of the attack is focused on this armory side, and that is not the site. This is exactly what the defense wants to happen. This is the role you want your roamers to play, because everybody is focused on somebody that's not even related to the push. And just like that, not only does she stay alive, but also gets the kill on Jackal. Can she get another? She does.
Geo,
that is going to be
monster.
diffuser down as well. And it's going to be all up to the Aoeah. And with this diffuser down, it is not looking good at all. And the roam game there from Geo definitely securing the round for Viper as just exactly what you want to see from your roamers. Not only do they get the frags, but they also waste time. Perfect roam game from that Viper side.
Right, and Geo honestly was the MVP of that round, just wasting so much time and not only picking off the Capitao, but he was also able to frag the Jackal, trying to pinch him in the armory, thinking that he might have had a chance, but unfortunately he didn't, as out it fell. And then immediately Geo was able to frag Trader and also get control of the diffuser. And while Shisui was trying to make his effort in the site, he just wasn't able to have much of an impact as the time was winding down.
Yeah, absolutely. And something that we are going to be seeing is actually the Cav coming out here from 7. And the 6 pick has already been used. So Cav, no matter what, is going to be played here. Yeah, so very interesting. Obviously, you and Jasmine talked about Cav last map, as she is not an extremely viable operator in competitive play, as there's most likely always someone there for the refrag. But since you're kind of bringing Cav in, and she's not an operator you see quite often, there is that surprise factor. And sometimes the surprise factor is all you need with an operator like Cav, because, well, I mean, basically her whole ability is to be a surprise and just get the interrogation down. But if she can kind of almost hide out for a good duration of the round, we've already seen how good the roam game has been from this Viper side, and if somehow they implement a Cav into that play, it's going to be almost unstoppable. So if we do see 7 potentially could be a extremely viable operator, but it's going to be very hard for him to do that. But like I said, just based on what we've seen from Viper, I'm actually looking at this Cav pick and I'm kind of liking it here.
Yeah, and if 7's able to just stay alive for as long as possible, a little confused as to why he's using the M12. Normally, whenever I see other CAF players, they do take the shotgun because they can just use the pistol for the long-range gunfights. Given that if they do land the headshot, excuse me, it wills down the attacker that gets shot in the head. But 7 currently roaming solo by himself here, and there's going to be 4 attackers, maybe even all 5 attackers pinching onto his location. He's going to be trapped here in the pantry, as we're going to be seeing a couple of attackers making their pushes here, as there's already an attacker in the classroom, and 7's going to be getting down and fragged here by Shisui. And that's just, to me, that's just a waste of an operator.
Yeah, so much about staying in the back and being hidden, as 7 is going to be not drawn out by just one drone, but I think there was 3 to 4 of them catching the eye of the Cav, and just a great pinch there, great teamwork. But in the end, it was fairly simple work of teamwork, as it was just kind of, there was really nowhere that Cav could go. There was no rotate at all. It just did not look good. Again, the reason possibly why you see that Cav come into play, and kind of a little bit of an issue with team comms there from Viper, is the fact that they are on a very unviable site. This isn't really a site a lot of people like, and not a lot of people play it as much, but it is a site you're going to have to get used to nonetheless, as Shisui is able to get yet another kill using the LMG here of Aoeah. So already 2 huge roamers off of the board. Yes, Valkyrie still has her cams in play, but the fact that she just doesn't have that gun in play is still a very, very good kill indeed.
Also the fact that that's a C4 down for the defenders to be using here. And meanwhile, Shisui is trying to make his presence known here, trying to challenge 7, and Shisui gets a 3rd frag onto Bean. Nader getting the trade onto Added as Ollie finally shuts down Shisui. 2v2 situation as Nader finds a 2nd onto Space Blunts. Very good play here from the Maestro, as Trader Within is just patiently waiting for Nader to try to peek around with 45 seconds left to go. Nader just has to play time here, as Classic is making his way up these tower stairs, coming up on T1. Currently getting up on T2 as he gets the frag onto Aoeah. Very unfortunate time here, and all they have to do for Relentless is just pinch Nader. He's unaware. And Classic's gonna get the frag onto Nader, giving Relentless their first round win here on Oregon, with a 2-1 advantage for Viper.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a little bit of an odd turn of events there, actually, as the attacking side looked like they had almost all the momentum the entire time. Whereas then we saw the defenders, especially Nader, who has just played out of his mind so far, just got 3 kills there, made it a 2v2. And when you make it a 2v2, when you bring it back from, I think it was a 4v2 or a 5v2.
It was a 5v2.
5v2, yeah, that gives a lot of confidence to those defenders. Unfortunately, they weren't able to capitalize on that, but it still is a good glimpse at exactly what Viper can do and how much confidence they are still playing with. Because even most of the time, I think the difference that separates an absolutely amazing team and a team that is great is how much confidence can you keep throughout the entire round and the entire series. Most of the time when it comes down to 5-2 and there's only 2 defenders left, that's kind of where you see a lot of things get drained out of a team. Whereas we didn't see that from Viper, which is a good sign. Unfortunately, they weren't able to win the round, but the fact that they stayed alive is a really, really good sign for a team. And that's something a lot of competitive teams, I think, take for granted. Confidence and just the mindset when you play Siege is something you have to address because it's extremely important.
Right. And honestly, Viper could have won that round very easily, as they were very quickly to make that 5v2 into a 2v2. But with Aoeah just carelessly running down those tower stairs instead of trying to be disciplined and waiting for Nader's Maestro Cam to give the calls, I think part of that threw away the round and just allowed Nader to get pinched by Classic and Trader.
So we're going to be seeing that Clash come out once again here from Aoeah. And Clash was, I would say, a very pivotal operator in the round where we did see her in I think it was the first round here, because she just slows down that attack quite considerably. And slowing down the attack is She-Sweet continues his dominance, just getting the first frag here. That's going to be 7. I don't quite know why he's in that small tower hallway area. Not really. There's actually 0 reason for him to be there, but nonetheless, it's going to be Frost off of the board, which is, again, little odd operator pick there from 7. But those traps, it has said that the higher the skill level, the more you fall into them. So potentially, we could see a Frost mat death here very soon.
Right. But I'm just highly questioning what 7 has been doing on this map. The other 2 maps, he's been playing pretty smart. Well, the first map, he was playing pretty smart. Second map, he was having a bit of unlucky, losing a lot of his gunfights, but I'm not too sure what's going on with him this round. Maybe the fatigue is getting to him. As wow, Classic's gonna get the frag onto Geo with the pings coming out from the drone. Very good frag here, as Aoeah is currently playing on this Clash on the main stairs, just waiting for these attackers to come through and see if he can get any frags. Meanwhile, Nader's trying to back him up as Geo is going to be leaving the game. Maybe there might be a rehouse, depends on the team calls for, and She-Sweet's gonna get down here as Adit takes down Nader, and Aoeah's gonna finish him off with those shocks, as Aoeah is gonna be taking down to 25 HP. We're leaving it in just a 2v5 situation yet again for Viper. I don't see Viper winning this map here, as Geo is able to return in time, with Space Blunt's currently sitting at around 80 HP with only 1:15 left. I think the attackers are going to be able to win this round.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a very high chance, as there's the 2 operators you kind of have left here aren't really good clutch operators. Clash isn't really somebody you want to rely on for winning a gunfight, as she's just a walking wall. And what are you doing, Aoeah? That was...
I think he was trying to be wary of the hash, but he just forgot about
the people on the stairs. There. Yeah, that was very questionable.
Wow, what a shot here from Bean, as he's barely going to miss Space Blunts, and Space Blunts gets the frag onto Bean, tying it up here 2-2 on Oregon.
And just like that, Jasmine, I think, has figured out exactly what was wrong with his mic, so I am going to be slithering back out of here, and might need to come back depending on how good Jasmine mic has been, but we'll be right back. Oh, well, I won't be right back, but he will be hopping in as soon as possible.
Okay. Let's just hope that this Dollar General mic, which is literally crushing my head, it's so heavy, Let's just hope that it works out. I'm not sure if the quality is good as we are
It's
going
actually
to
not
have.
that bad. It's pretty decent.
Okay, well, we're gonna have a
As
rehost
Viper
here.
is going to be rehosting. Yeah. 2-2 situation. 2-2 right now, leading into round 5. I'm not too sure why I'm sorry. Why Relentless is leaving. It should just be Viper. But we're gonna take a little bit of a break to get all the players back in here, and once they're back in, we'll go ahead and start the map up again.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to quickly let you know that one of the players is having an issue connecting, so I'm going to increase the timer just a little bit, but we will be right back as soon as possible.
What the fuck? Oh shit, that's on stream. Alrighty, coming back onto Oregon between Viper and Relentless. The map count here is at 1-1. We had to do a rehost because of an issue with Adit's computer. He had to restart his entire system and relog back in. But so far, this entire series has been very close between both teams. For the first two maps, we've seen Relentless just get onto a commanding lead, going up even 1-4 at one point on Bank. And what's it called? Viper has just been able to fight their way back, and they've been fighting hard every single round to not give Relentless any kind of an inch or an advantage. And both of these teams have been giving each other a run of their money. As Jazzman is currently trying to set up his microphone right now, REDCUBE is going to be assisting me for a little while until Jazzman comes back.
Oh, my fault. I actually I thought that Jasmine was good to go, but that was 100% on my bad. But we are going to be going on, obviously, after a rehost. There is a couple questions you have to ask. One of them being, what team is this rehost going to benefit? And people are going to be like, what does a rehost have to do with anything? How does that benefit anybody? The reason why I asked this question, and the reason why I think some people might not really see it as a very viable question, is because when you have a rehost, it gives the teams both time to talk. And either you could be having everything go your way and then a rehost happens and everything goes downhill, or it gives you an opportunity, maybe things aren't going your way, to just talk things over. So obviously, it being tied here, there isn't really that type of scenario, but there is definitely going to be, I think, a winner, quote unquote, that comes out of this rehost, as Clash playing extremely aggressive, almost costing her life quite early on. But that was a little bit of questionable play there by Aoeah, as he's actually going to be brought down to about 75 health here. And as the Clash, that is the last thing you want to do. You are kind of the big line of defense from the attackers getting into sight super early on. So a little bit of a questionable play there, but nonetheless, Aoeah is going to be able to escape with his life, so no worries on that end.
Right. Already, there's going to be a minute going down here, and all yet again is going to be losing a ton of health here. I'm not too sure why he's still trying to contest these main stairs, knowing that Relentless is always taking a capital, and Ollie is just sacrificing a ton of his life points for it, and honestly, to no avail.
Yeah, absolutely. And
go continue. Seven and Nate are currently sitting over here on the back of tower stairs, while Shisui is trying to push his way through the meeting hall and currently droning for his team. You see there's currently someone on the camera, and Trader has actually been down here. Classic trying to get some fights. But Space Monster is going to get the frag onto 7. That's going to be the Jaeger dead here, leaving it all up to just Ollie and Nader. As Nate is going to come around the stairs here, as Space Monster is trying to get the frag onto Ollie. Trying to use his shotgun to his advantage, try to bait Ollie into trying to come up these stairs to see if he can try to get the pick onto Ollie and bring down the Clash. As Space Monster is having a difficult time. Meanwhile, Ollie just doesn't realize that there has been a recent nerf to Clash, as the transition time between her shield and her pistol has been increased by, I believe it was an additional half second.
I didn't know it was a whole second. It went from 1 second to 2 seconds, actually.
Oh my god,
yeah.
That's going to be very unfortunate for Ollie trying to make that push. I think he would have been in a better situation if he just would have been a little bit more passive instead of going for an aggressive push there. Either that, or he rotates with his shield and tries to get space blunts to miss all of his shots, rotating around to get the frag, but that's very difficult to do.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, marks are going down here for the defenders as it's currently a 3v5 situation. Trader getting the plant down, and Nader missing his smokes, and they're getting stuck. And Nader's gonna somehow get the frag onto Trader. That's gonna be a visual bug on our end. Aoeah gets the frag onto Bean as Nader is going to be making his push through to the diffuser as he's currently sitting on top of it. Meanwhile, he could have actually gone for the defuser as there's no one around to cover it.
This could actually potentially
That's
still...
Classic, and Nader's get the frag onto Audit, not knowing that Classic is in the classroom. He sees him, but he doesn't realize he's there. Oh no, Shisui is going to get the frag onto Nader, and Nader just does not see Classic at all in the classroom.
That was just very unfortunate. Could easily be sometimes maybe when a player is aiming down sight, their sight blocks it. But that's not really a good excuse, as there's a whole operator just sitting right across from you. Maybe change your field of view, maybe go on to 4-3 potentially, maybe go to 16-10. It really does not matter. You just need to see that person as quick as possible, because no matter what, I think, yes, Nader was making a very good effort there, and it was actually very close to clutching that out, but I really think at that point there was really no coming back from that. I think he was going to either get fragged from meeting or he was going to get fragged from classroom because he just didn't see the person in classroom. So having those simple mistakes cost you a round is a big problem, and we saw that with Viper last map too. On Bank, they forgot where the site was. They tried to plant in a spot that you can't plant, and it cost them the round. So really just odd mistakes are coming out here from Viper, and they're being capitalized on, and that's what you expect to see at this level of play. When you make a mistake to a point where you don't even know where the site is, or you don't even see somebody, it's going to get capitalized on no matter what. And I think Viper definitely needs to figure this out. Obviously, with the reset of sides and with the change of sides, this is a good time to figure that out. It's going to be a good hard reset for this Viper squad. And I'm not saying that Viper are out of this game, because that's just not true at all. It's 3-2, one more round win, and it's tied up here. And just going back to what we've seen so far, just looking at the way these two teams have played this entire series, I'm expecting right now to Viper possibly bring this right back and make it a tied game. So they're not out of this game at all. It's just these simple mistakes. It almost seems like they're trying to put themselves out of this game.
Right, I believe Jazzman's mic is finally working for him now, so
Is it?
he's gonna...
There it goes.
There he is.
I hate this.
As Jasmine has been having some very unfortunate technical difficulties here. As sides have been swapped here, we're going to see Viper on attack and Relentless on defense. And currently in the first 30 seconds, there's going to be a Shisui playing in the kitchen, waiting for these attackers to make a move, as he's going to rotate away from the kitchen over into the meeting hall, taking a couple shots. As the Dokubi call rings out here, Trader's going to drop down back into the site, and the attackers are going to try to make their way over to the meeting hall, not reinforcing the southwest wall, the single wall here. Shisui can get peeked from that hallway, but meanwhile, Aoeah does have his back, playing on those back tower stairs. Gio makes his way through the kitchen as Nader and Ollie are making their way through upstairs, trying to get Classic off guard here. This is a 3v1 situation right now for Classic. This is going to be a very tough situation for Classic to get out of. Shots are going to be fired here from Classic as he's down at 50 HP. Shots are going to narrowly miss Classic. Zofia mines are going out here. All four attackers. 7 team kill onto Ollie as he frags Classic. I don't know what was happening there. Oh my goodness. Very poor situation for Ollie to get fragged by his own teammate. But Classic can say that he got the trade technically.
Getting both Polish operators off the board. Unfortunately, Ella's the Polish operator you're hunting. But anyway, unfortunate team kill. So in the end, yes, it was a trade, but it was such an trade. You didn't want that trade. You wanted it to just be one and done. And so much time has been wasted, as well as two
no, Added is going to get the frag onto Geo, and that's going to be falling on poor droning skills right there. as Bean gets the frag onto Addit. The DMR is going to beat out the Alda 556. As Bean is going to attempt to go for another call here. Meanwhile, he's not expecting Trader to get to be there, as Nader gets the retrade as a 2v2 situation with 40 seconds left, leaving it all up to Space Blunt and Shisui against Nader and 7. And Nader does have the diffuser at full HP, and Space Blunt's not too sure how many smoke grenades he has. He does have 2 smoke grenades left. So if he plays this out correctly, unless Viper changes their attack strategy here, which it looks like they definitely are. They're going to go for a back push here. That's going to be Shisui spotted. With 15 seconds left to go, Shisui has made his way back over to the laundry room. As Nader's going to drop here. 8 seconds left to go. Nader going for the plant. 7 gets the frag onto Shisui. As Space Blunt is going to get fragged by 7, and 7 with the 4K. Technical 4K as he got the frag onto Ollie. And 7's just going to lock up the round here for Viper, giving him a 3-1 advantage.
So, do you remember that one time when Nolid was trying to kill the diffuser and the SMG recoil got the best of him?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Space Blunts is doing a Nolid costume.
In that situation.
I don't know if he dressed up for Nolid as Halloween, but that is just the most unfortunate. That's the most unfortunate recoil.
Well,
wasn't as detrimental, but still.
What happened recently? I think it was a couple days ago. There was a recent patch where they buffed the SMG-11 and they also buffed Mirror's Vector, where the recoil that Nolid has been severely reducted. And I think that Space Blunt is just using the wrong barrel. In my experience, from what I've noticed and from what I've seen other players use on the SMG-11, is that they're using Compensator. And with the new recoil system, just after testing it out, I feel like Compensator is the best attachment to be using on the SMG-11. So, Space Blunts, if you go back to watch this VOD, switch your barrel over to Compensator.
I disagree. I think the Flash Hider is better. And I don't know exactly why, but I mean, in my personal experience, this is not me saying that you're wrong. This is just me saying that with my personal experience, I've done much better with Flash Hider because it reduces a lot of your I don't know what it is, but it also the thing, actually, I could look up Compensator versus Flash R6. No, seriously, I want to find this because I know that Flash Hider does a lot, but it does less than the Compensator. Oh yeah, so Compensator is kind of the way that Compensator works is that it reduces your vertical recoil more, I think. But what Flash Hider really does is it reduces both your vertical and horizontal to a certain extent. So the way that the SMG plays out is that its spread is really what kills it. So I feel like Flash Hider in the end would just be a little bit better.
All right, and I see where you're coming from, but we're going to be seeing 7 and Geo making their way through the kitchen. If 7 were to be having a defender peeking right there, he would have been caught way off guard. But that's not the case right now, as there's currently a Aoeah with the deployable shield playing right now in the meeting hall, along with Trader on that castle. And pretty cheeky angle coming out here from Classic, as that's a pretty uncommon angle to be looking through. Hatch is going to be opened up above in the attic by Trader, as Classic is going to toss a Aoeah Mind. And we're going to be seeing 7 making his way across, and 7's going to get downed here by Classic, as Addit is going to be not able to get that Evil Eye. 7's going to get picked up back up to 50 HP. And Classic missing a lot of shots, getting down to 1 HP, and he has to answer his phone, half the round gone. And things are looking pretty deadlocked here between both of these teams, with Classic on very low HP.
Yeah, we will see him rotate over to the tower to try and save his own life, which is where Audit will be sitting above. And he's taking a few shots, but that is a really good Maestro angle, the most common Maestro angle you see. He's going to try and escape the bailiff as Nader gets
what
a kill
a
onto
shot
Audit.
from Nader, taking out the Maestro. Oh my goodness, very good frag here from Nader. That's going to be the not only is it the Maestro dead, but that's also part of your plant now just gone. As Nader's going to drop down into meeting. 7's going to get the frag here onto Classic as Geo gets the frag onto Shisui. 5v2 here situation for Viper. Trader gets the frag onto 7. 57 seconds left to go, and we've seen Viper throw situations where they've been in a 5v2 a couple of times before in this series. Let's just pray to God that they don't. This Space Monster is going to get down here. I don't think Ollie knows that he's down. It's all up to Trader right now in a 1v4 situation. Meanwhile, we're going to see Bean moving down as Ollie finally finishes off Space One's 1v4 situation. As he's going to get the frag. Double kill onto both Nader and Bean, but it's not going to be enough as Ollie comes trade to get Trader within. And Viper is going to go up to be, I believe it's 4-2 now, or 4-3.
Yep, good round there from Viper, like you said, almost throwing it out, but nonetheless, they will take control and storm the...
4-3.
Did I say something else?
No, I was just confused as to whether it was 4-3 or 4-2, but I forgot that it was tied. And Viper looking pretty dominant that round, getting it down to a 5v2 fairly easily, even though 7 was downed to 50 HP after getting injured.
Yep. So far they've been having a good game for themselves. Relentless have been showing up as well though, and it's been a good game overall. Not only this map, but this game has been really, really good and really undecided because what we predicted was wrong a lot of the times. Like for example, whenever Viper were on the defense and it was 5-4 on Bank, most people would have predicted, or I think it went that way. Yeah, it did. Most people would have predicted. Go that. I don't even remember myself. No, it didn't actually, but yeah, no, it did. It did. Viper. Viper were on the defense first. So, what happened was Viper were on their defense, and it was 5-4. Since Viper were down 4, what was predicted from at least me was that they would put it into overtime. And it turns out that it would be Relentless who won the attack when that really mattered. So this game in general has been really unpredictable, and there are moments that just happen that kind of throw your entire train of thought off because you have these, like I said, you have these moments, and it just makes the game so unpredictable. And I want to say that Viper are very close to locking out this game, but I'm absolutely wrong in the way that Relentless have been playing it and the way that this game has gone. I'm sure that this will be way, way farther than over than I would think.
Right, and we've seen both Viper and Relentless claw back to each other, getting it to an even round count. It's happened, I think, maybe 5 or 6 times throughout this entire series where it's been tied. We first saw it where it was 2-2 earlier this map, and then it was 3-3. And then on Bank, it was at 4-4, if I'm not mistaken. And then Constant was also at a 4-4. Meanwhile, Bean's going to get this spot there onto Space Blunts in the armory right now as Doc. As not a good location, I'd imagine right now, being that he's Doc. I would imagine that there'd be a Jaeger in there, given that he's actually going to be getting away here. Close call for Space Blunts, but he's able to retreat back to site. I would have expected for Addit to be playing in the armor right there, as they're actually going to have the hole open on Armory, so that way they can not only peek the attackers, but the attackers can peek them back.
Yep. Every angle is a... well, there are some exceptions, but every angle is a vertical angle. As
Great flag here from Ollie.
Unfortunately, learned the hard way.
Great frag here from Ollie as he's taking down that castle, and it's Trader within, who's been so menacing on this support play. As Geo is just waiting for the right time to launch in his Candelas, as there's a wild Addit playing down here in the kitchen, and meanwhile we saw Classic playing with some peek holes prone on that dresser. As Sophia finds are going to be coming out, Geo's patiently waiting to get the all clear.
Yeah, gonna be using those Candelas to try and push into sight. You have smoke grenades on the side of REDCUBE, I believe, unless she's running something else. Flashbangs, as Classic will be down here by Ollie. A great game for him, a great round for him. So 2 kills on that smoke and that castle. First launch bomb will come out, and that's a great frag. Also, I'm thinking about it. Smoke is down, and now Legion is two really good frags, and what a shot from Bean to take out Space Blunts through the mattress, and Candelas will flash him, but the plant's gonna have to go down. 7 will win it out, and I was correct. This game is so unpredictable, and Viper will be, I believe, on match point if I'm not
Yes,
wrong.
Viper will be on match point 5-3, and Viper have just looked so strong here against Relentless. And Relentless is looking a little lost in their defensive holds when the Candelas and the phone calls are coming out. Almost like they don't know what to do with themselves once it happens. Like I don't know if they've practiced against it enough, or if they were just not prepared for it. But Viper looking very strong here on the decider map of Oregon.
Yep, and this could be their last round if they play it out right. But so far, this game is told differently. So we're gonna have to see what happens because, I mean, they have a conventional site, Relentless, but so far they haven't been playing consistent. While I almost just said virtuous Viper have been playing the game of their lives so far. But what we learned from the past two maps is that you can never call it quits no matter what. So we're gonna have to see how this works out. We see a lot of plant denial being brought out here from the side of Relentless. Usually you would see Trader on that Echo, but obviously since Echo is banned, you can't really do much. So instead you have Maestro and Smoke, two very powerful operators. We see usually you put a Maestro or any ACOG of that sort on the tower stairs where you can look into meeting room and all the way over into the lobby once you when you have certain angles. But that's just in general two really good operators to have, especially on this site. Smoke for 9 default plan on top of the laundry machine and add it on the Maestro to just assist him, as well as play that ACOG on the backside of towers. We will see, I believe, Viper, a majority of them, I don't know if a majority has spawned at the tower, but we're going to be seeing 7 at least looking like he's going to prepare for a bunker take, which is interesting. I mean, it's not unconventional or anything, but it's usually you would see a lobby take, but I believe just because 7 is on that Jackal, he's just kind of doing something different. He'll be holding the construction hallway, and the round's going to begin as we see Shisui in a very powerful position inside a kitchen, locking himself inside with the castle barricades and reinforcements. His only exit through the showers, as well as a connection into the meeting room. So a lot of upstairs presence here from Relentless, and it's never too much. Whenever you look at this, it's a lot of upstairs control, but you only actually you only have 4 operators, and now you only have 1 operator, and you now have only 4 operators on the side of Relentless. As 7 storming in, we'll get a kill onto Add It. That's a major frag, and just a flurry of colors. It almost looks like Fruity Pebbles on the floor. And he's just going, 7 now going to be taking control, but I'm not sure if they know if Shisui sitting inside of the kitchen castled off, and no problem at all opening up these walls, and Shisui is just holding out. He's in a corner screaming with a gun, and that's all he really got, as he's going to get peeked by Bean. That's an angle that he should not have won with the iron sights on that CZ Nader onto Classic, and only 2 operators stand in the way of Viper. Make that 1 from winning this game out. It's all up to the Muto Space plus the sub. He'll whip out the pistol, at 7 will win it out. This game finally comes to a close, and it'll be Viper 2-1 against Relentless. They just played the best game of their lives, and it'll be a win for them.
Absolutely.
I believe propels them on top.
Say that again?
I believe that propels them onto the top.
Yes, it does. Yep, you're exactly right. That is going to put them into the first place position on the table, and they looked absolutely spectacular, which is, I think, against a lot of people's mindset. Obviously, it was a very close vote, and we can't just say, oh, they had it. It was more of, I think there was a lot of people were saying it's going to be a blowout, but in one person's favor. It's just that one person was hotly debated. And what I mean by that is, a lot of people were saying, oh, it's going to be 2-0 for Viper, or it's going to be 2-0 for Relentless. It was never, oh, I'm expecting just a close match between these teams. So I guess people's predictions were somewhat correct in the fact that they guessed the winner, but they weren't really correct on exactly how it got there, which I think is the most interesting part of any matchup. It's not about the destination, it is always about the journey. And well, this journey was filled with wrinkles, hills, mountains, anything you can think of to stand in the way of both of these teams was there, and it made an absolutely spectacular matchup. It was close throughout, and it's just it's always so fun to see those types of matches. But unfortunately, that is going to be it for us tonight in terms of games. There is going to be we are going to be doing a post-game interview, of course, but tonight, unfortunately, the Chroma Knight game, they are going to have to reschedule as 2 of their players had to stay in late for work. So I think IRL things coming in the way of Rainbow Six Siege just a little bit, so they are going to have to use their reschedule. Unfortunately, this week has been kind of plagued by reschedules, which somewhat is out of the administration's control, but we are actively searching for a I guess, a new way to address these types of things so we can get as much content out to you guys as possible. But with that, we are going to be hopping into the channel with the players as soon as possible, as my Discord just crashes. So as soon as possible, I think, is going to be just a little bit longer, and we will be right back with you guys as soon as possible, and basically until I figure out exactly why Discord just decided to off itself.
Everything changes.
Life.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so I am back, and just like that, of course, the post-game score is not correct. It always wants to display 2-0. It was not 2-0. It was 2-1, and I assure you of that. But I'm going to be hopping into this interview as quick as possible, and something a little bit different with today's interview is actually we're going to be only interviewing one person. I guess the rest of the team didn't want to participate for some reason, or maybe just Ali really wanted to talk by himself. So I'm going to hop in there right now, and we're going to see exactly what was going through his head.
Hello.
Hello.
Yo, what's up?
What's going on? Okay, so
Nothing much.
I'm gonna you're what?
I'm just saying you're.
Oh, all right, dude. Okay. But I'm just gonna get right into it here. So obviously, this matchup, I think, was probably the main event of this week. I think a lot of people looked at this matchup as probably the two top dogs kind of going at it. With that hysteria around this entire match, how has your maybe your mindset changed coming into it? What did you do differently, or if nothing at all?
Alright, so honestly, every single match we come in here saying this is gonna be an easy 6-0. Like, we're cocky as hell, I'm not gonna lie. But I mean, we know when we're put in our place. Like, we thought, like, I like to point out both first and second map we were down 1-4.
Yes.
The first map we brought it back, and then bank we were close, but that was a throw.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
So nothing really changed, just kind of coming in with the same confidence?
No. Yeah, I mean, we lost Bravik, but then we brought in Nader.
Yeah.
We came in with the same confidence, I guess.
All right. Okay, so actually, you already hit upon this just a little bit. The second question I had is, like you said, two of those maps, you guys were down 4-1, and that's no shy deficit. That's a pretty deep hole to dig yourself out of. What did you guys do to kind of get back into that matchup? What did you guys do to kind of bring those rounds back that you lost?
I mean, it's really only 3 rounds. It's a half, so like we have 2 points to win.
Yeah.
It's only 1 round difference, but regardless, like, I think definitely on the first map the clutches like brought back that synergy, and it just like brought on a hype. It gave us some momentum to go off, I guess.
All right. So that's gonna be all my questions. But Jasmine, do you have any?
Why are you so nutty? No, I'm kidding.
I don't know.
I was joking.
Yeah, no, exactly. 7's the best one.
Can I
What's up?
ask?
Yeah, what's up?
Can I ask? Did you guys feel like you were sort of unconfident whenever it came to your attack? Because it seemed like your attack was really sloppy in a sense, and it was like you guys weren't coordinated. Is there something that you felt like attributed to that?
I guess lack of droning. We're trying to work on that, bringing a 5th and all that, some role swaps, but or I don't know. we tried our best and it came out victorial, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that
Victoria Real, whatever.
Victory Royale, baby.
Yeah,
I
exactly,
need your
exactly.
Credit card number.
Sure.
Get that victory.
Royale.
Anyway, yeah, good games. That's all I really have. And I
GGs.
wish you the best of luck. In the
Alright, I just want to say one thing. Shout out Bravik. And, yeah, that's, I don't know.
All right.
Ask it! That's all to say.
Okay.
Alright, have a nice night, guys.
Yeah, have a nice one.
I
So,
think that's
thanks
the
for
last
casting.
thing he's
yeah,
gonna
no
be
problem.
saying.
No problem, Ollie. No problem.
Alright, peace out.
All right, peace. Oh my goodness.
You know, with my headphones that are crushing my skull, I didn't really appreciate that whatsoever.
I don't think anybody really did. Obviously, Ollie is really ecstatic about tonight's win, which he should be, of course, as it was a great win. And he definitely, I think, put Viper on the list of teams to worry about, because I think coming into this matchup, they were, I think, one of those teams that people were like, it's kind of, they're just here. Whereas now I think they're like, okay, they are really here. So I think really good matchup all around for these guys. Obviously, we had a couple technical difficulties today, but I think overall it was really smooth. And the fact that we tried this new system with spectating and things like that definitely caught a lot more kills and definitely caught a lot more of the action. And obviously, as the weeks go on, I think it's just going to get better and better and better. But unfortunately, that's going to be it for us tonight. And no more matches today, as Chroma Knight have used their reschedule for the Dirty Birds game. So that's going to be it for us. Thanks, everybody, so much for tuning in. But that's all I have to say. Jasmine, do you have any closing remarks?
I want to say, I just kind of want to apologize to everybody involved in this, including you, Uzu, and the people watching for all my audio issues. I'm going to definitely have to start replacing my microphone. I don't know what the problem was, but this happened before last time. I don't know if you remembered, but my mic just kind of like randomly disconnected for a while.
Yeah.
So I'm really sorry for all this. I didn't really expect this to happen because it's kind of, the problem's dissipated so far, but
Yeah.
now it's come back, and I really want to apologize, but hopefully for the time that I have been casting, I put on a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just, obviously, some things kind of are out of our control as casters and kind of presenters, but you handled it very well, so no worries there. But that's going to be it from us, guys, and thanks so much. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for a very good match, and the Disrupt game, I think, might have to be rescheduled to Monday, so make sure you guys stay tuned on the Twitter and the Discord to make sure of any changes coming to that. But that is going to be it from us tonight. Peace.